And the Cowboys have won the toss and will receive and defend the goal line to our left. The Bears will be kicking off. The officials for today's ball game, the referee is Gordon McCarter. The umpire is Lou Palazzi. The head linesman is Jerry Bergman. The line judge, Bob Beeks. The back judge, Jim Poole. And the field judge is Fritz Graf. And we're just about set for NFL playoff action here in Dallas.
Well, you can feel the excitement as far as the Chicago Bears are concerned. This is a big moment for the Bears. None of these players has ever been in a playoff game before, except for Billy Newsome among the starters. Mike Phipps got into a couple of games with the Cleveland Browns, but has played very little.
All right, the ball is in the air as Thomas hits it deep. And it's going to be Laidlaw, I believe, at the 7-yard line. To the 20. Cuts to the 25. He has an avenue across the 30 and still to the 35-yard line. And make that Larry Brinson, a rookie out of the University of Florida. Mike Spivey, the Bears' number 2 draft choice from Colorado, made the tackle on the play. A 28-yard kickoff return for Larry Brinson. The Cowboys, who lead so many statistical categories, also the number 1 team in kickoff returns, averaging better than 24 per carry. First down for Dallas at their own 35-yard line. They'll send Drew Pearson wide to the left. In the slot to the left will be Golden Richards. And now Dorsett shifts into the backfield into the deuce. And now another shift sends Newhouse 1 step to the right. And they're giving a cross buck to Newhouse. Up the middle across the 40 to the 41-yard line where Buffon spills him. On a nice cross buck up the middle, Newhouse picks up about 6 yards on the first play from the line of scrimmage. And the Cowboys will be faced with 2nd and 4 from their own 41-yard line.
So the Dallas Cowboys run right up the middle on the very first play, and the New York Giants said after they launched the Bears a week ago that Dallas is going to trap the heck out of the Bears, and Gordy Gravel said Dallas should be able to run all over the Chicago Bears. We'll see.
Butch Johnson, who alternates with Golden Richards as a wide receiver, bringing the plays in the slot to the left. And now on a crossbuck to hand off to Dorsett, tries the left side, cuts upfield, and gets spilled at about the 44-yard line. He tried to sweep to the left side, then cut off the guard position, and Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, nailed him at the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a little bit shy of a yard for the Cowboys.
Tony Dorsett making his 6th start for the Dallas Cowboys. Tom Landry brought him along slowly. He had his best game against Philadelphia with 206 yards. He had the 2nd best average per carry in the NFL, right behind Walter Payton. Payton 5.5, Dorsett 4.8.
We'll give them the 45, but they need a foot for the first down. Both tight ends are in. Jay Sally is in there to block. Deuce backfield, wing to the near right side. On 3rd down, about a foot to go. And they give to Dorsett, and he slams off left tackle and gets the first down to the 46-yard line. He was hit by Gary Fensick, the low-bridging strong safety. Fensick, in his 2nd year out of Yale, led the entire Bear team with tackles, 133 with 93 solos on the year. First down for Dallas at their own 46-yard line.
Good to see me, Wayman Bryant back at right linebacker. He's missed the last few games, and he's playing hurt. He has a bad shoulder bruise.
Drew Pearson wide to the near side, operating against Allen Ellis. Wide to the left, Golden Richards. He'll be going against Virgil Livers. Deucett behind Dorsett, or rather behind Staubach, and the handoff to touchdown Tony. Slides to the outside, breaks 1 tackle, and gets to the 49.5-yard line. And Mike Hartenstein caught up from behind to haul him down. The left defensive end out of Penn State in his 3rd year, a 257-pounder for the Bears. It'll be 2nd down for Dallas, about 6 yards to go. The ball about a foot shy of the 50-yard line.
Well, the Bears have won their last 6 games. The Dallas Cowboys have won their last 4. They opened the year by winning their first 8. Then they lost here at Texas Stadium to St. Louis, 24-17. And then they lost at Pittsburgh, 28-13.
That was Tony Dorsett's first start in the big leagues.
At Pittsburgh, right.
Wide to the near side is Johnson. Pearson split wide to the left, Deuce backfield. Now Newhouse shifts over a step to the left side. On 2nd down and 3, Staubach play action fake, back to pass, rush, dumps it out, a screen on the left side to Dorsett across the 50 to the 45. He stumbles and goes down at the 42-yard line. He may have lost the ball. And the Bears have it. Dorsett fumbled, and Jim Osborne came up with a loose pigskin in the first break of the game. Goes to the Chicago Bears, and they'll take over at their own 42-yard line on a Dorsett fumble.
Well, one thing the Dallas Cowboys haven't done much of this year is turn over the football. That's only their 14th or 15th fumble of the season. They only had 24 turnovers, and Osborne picked that ball off on the fly. The Bears in business almost at midfield. This is the kind of break they've got to have against this experienced Dallas Cowboy football team.
All right, it'll be Rather coming wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the right. Deuce backfield of Payton and Harper. Avellini with the first call from the line of scrimmage. The Bears have it at their own 42-yard line. And play action fake, swings it out on the right side to Scott, who slips, breaks a tackle, and gets across the 45-yard line. He was shoestring down over there by the linebacker, D.D. Lewis. Lewis, a 9-year pro, rather light for a linebacker, at 215 pounds out of Mississippi State. The defensive captain for the Cowboys. A gain of 3 on a completed pass to James Scott on a hitch pattern to the right side. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
I got a feeling the Bears are going to mix it up a little more today than they have been. Usually open the game with a running play.
Steve Schubert, who's been banged up of late, in out wide receiver. Wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the right. They give the one to Payton on a sweep to the left side. Cuts back and gets about 3 to the 48-yard line. There were 3 white-shirted Dallas Cowboys closing off the sweep. And it was big Harvey Martin who made the tackle on the play. A gain of about 3 for Walter Payton. He got just across the 47-yard line. It'll be third down coming up now for the Chicago Bears, and about 5 yards to go.
Payton didn't have much in the way of blocking in front of him. In fact, Greg Latta was the only man, and the Cowboys had him outnumbered 3-1. So it's 3rd and 4. 3rd and a long 3.
Rather, wide to the right, Scott wide to the near side. He'll be operating against Mark Washington, who's in there now for the Cowboys. The Cowboys back away from the line. To give the Payton on a sweep to the right side. He's got a block from Jackson. Tries to get to the outside. He's chopped down at the 48-yard line. Aaron Kyle came up along with Benny Barnes as the Cowboys went to their 5 defensive backs, and they chopped him down. He had Noah Jackson who pulled in front of him, but Walter tried to go to the outside, and there was no room. A yard gain on the play. It'll be 4th down and about 4 yards to go, and the Bears are forced to punt from their own 48-yard line.
Payton wanted to cut to the inside, but he couldn't because the cornerback, Aaron Kyle, came up and plugged the hole. Good pursuit by the Dallas Cowboys on defense.
Butch Johnson, the single man back for Dallas. Bob Parsons, who led the NFC in net punting yardage, in to kick it away. And he hits a high, booming kick. Johnson drifts over to the left side, going to make the fake fair catch, and the ball bounces at the 4-yard line and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Dallas will put the ball in play from their own 20-yard line. Timeout is called here in the first period with 10:02 to go. No score in the football game here in Texas. Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back in Irving, Texas. Texas Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, where Big D will put the ball in play from their own 20-yard line. Each team has had the ball once, unable to move it, although Dallas did pick up a first down and then lost it via the fumble in Bear territory. Wide to the left, Drew Pearson. In the slot to the left is Golden Richards. Now they shift back into the deuce with Dorsett moving alongside of Newhouse behind Roger Staubach. Now coming in motion, the outside man to the near side is Pearson. Long count. And the give now to Newhouse. Trying the left side, slips off of Billy Newsome, turns the corner and gets 2 to the 22-yard line. Way over on the far sidelines, it was Gary Fensick and Wayman Bryant that knocked him down. 2nd down, 8 for the Dallas Cowboys. Newhouse, who played at the University of Houston, a 205-pound, 5'10" running back, picking up 2 yards on the play. During the regular season, he gained 721 yards, an average of 4 a carry, and scored 3 touchdowns on the ground.
He was also the second leading ground gainer last year behind Doug Dennison, and now with Dorsett playing, Dennison has been moved back to third string behind Dorsett and Pearson.
All right, it's 2nd down, 8 for the Cowboys. Now they do a double shift, and the tight end drops back into the slot. Now Saldi comes in motion to the near right side. And they give to Dorsett. Tries the slot and gets about a yard. He is hammered down. The Bears are waiting for him. Right out to Osborne. The 2 inside men in the front 4 make the tackle on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7. The Cowboys doing a lot of stunting here early. 2, sometimes 3 shifts before the ball is snapped, but the Bears hung in there and made the play. Now Tommy Hicks, the middle linebacker, is pulled as the Bears go to the nickel defense, and they insert Mike Spivey, the rookie from Colorado, as the 5th defensive back.
Now they see the shotgun here. You know, Dallas is 42% on 3rd down situations. Outstanding. The Bears, by comparison, only 31%.
Give Dorsett 2 instead of 1 on the last play. It's 3rd and 6, the Cowboys, on their own 24-yard line. Staubach on a shotgun formation. Back to pass. He's going to run right up the middle of the 25 to the 30, cuts to the outside and takes the dive at the 34-yard line, but Bryant unloaded on him with help from Mike Spivey. There was nobody in the middle to contain, and Staubach just hot-footed it up the middle and crossed the 35-yard line. A pickup of about 11 on the play, and the Cowboys have a first down.
Well, Roger Staubach is known to do that very thing. He'll run with the football when he has to, and there was nobody home up the middle for the Bears, and Staubach easily made the first down. They're out to the 35-yard line.
Richards bringing a play in from the far sidelines, replacing Butch Johnson at wide receiver. The Cowboys have a first down on the Dallas 35.
Staubach has carried 51 times this year. He's run for 3 touchdowns.
Slot to the near right side. Now Dorsett drops back into the deep man in the I formation. Staubach with a long count. And the play action fake to Dorsett, sets up the pass, swings it to the right side, and it's caught and dropped. Richards had it on his hands at the 48-yard line on the near sidelines and couldn't hang on. I think he was more worried about staying in bounds, and the ball slipped away incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He had gotten behind Virgil Livers and was wide open, but again, he had to contend with that sideline.
Johnson in, Richards out. Johnson has caught 12 balls for 135 yards and 1 touchdown, and that 1 touchdown was a memorable one-handed grab late in the Monday night game against San Francisco. He is a fine player. The Cowboys are really stocked. They have a lot of depth and a lot of just great talent here.
They have 8 players who will be in the Pro Bowl.
They had a mix-up there. Now they'll line up in a slot to the left side, deuce backfield. On 2nd down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Staubach with a call. Behind center, John Fitzgerald. On a cross-buck, sliding to the left side is Newhouse. Breaks one tackle, explodes out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Tommy Hicks finally brought him down. Newhouse slipped away from Billy Newsom as he angled outside to the left and picks up another first down all the way out to the 48-yard line. A 13-yard haul for Robert Newhouse.
A nice move by Newhouse, and cutting outside. He was going to go off tackle, started to move in that way, but then slipped out to the far side and picked up a nice gain.
Newhouse with 21 yards and 3 carries, an average of 7. Wide to the left now is Drew Pearson. Both tight ends are in the lineup, and they drop Dorsett back into the deuce, and now in motion, coming to the far side, lining up as a wing is Jay Saldi. On first down, they give to Dorsett, circles to the outside, running laterally across the 50, and goes out of bounds at the Bear 45-yard line, chased out by Alan Ellis. Trying to force him out wide was Doug Plank, but he didn't have enough speed to keep up with a hot-footed Dorsett. A gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3, and the Cowboys are on the move now in Bear territory at the Chicago 45.
Well, Walter Payton is known for his quickness and his breaking of tackles. Tony Dorsett has more speed and more acceleration.
More of a floater. He really goes.
Over the long haul, Dorsett would be the faster man, but Payton would be is pretty quick inside, running 20, 30 yards.
21 yards and 5 carries for Dorsett. Wide to the near side is Pearson. Now Saldi drops back into the slot off the line of scrimmage and goes in motion to the left side. Deuce backfield. And the give now to Dorsett on a sweep to the left side. He's got Neely in front of him. Great diving tackle by Gary Fensick, and he chops Dorsett down behind the line at the 47-yard line. Gary Fensick, who is really gaining a lot of stature and maybe just an inch or two away from all-pro stardom himself, blew in there behind the blocker and chopped Dorsett down, and they mark it only a yard loss. He actually went back at the 47. They put it at the 46-yard line.
Great year for Gary Fensick, out of Yale, signed on as a free agent, played behind Craig Clemens until after the St. Louis game, and he has just been improving with every game.
3rd down now for the Cowboys, and about, 3 yards to go. Slot to the near right side, deuce backfield. Staubach with the call. And he drops back to pass, sets up for the quick square out, and it's complete to Drew Pearson, out of bounds on the near side of the 38-yard line in front of Alan Ellis. Perfection on that play. Timing was there. Pearson caught it right in his numbers and stepped out of bounds. First down for the Cowboys now at the Bear 39.
48 catches this year for Drew Pearson. He ranks 3rd in the NFC behind Ahmad Rashad of the Minnesota Vikings and James Scott of the Bears. Scott with 50 catches and Rashad with 51.
The Cowboys now have it first down at the Bear 39-yard line. Pearson again comes wide to the near side. Split wide to the left is Golden Richard. No, make that Butch Johnson. Dorsett just walks back behind Newhouse in the eye. In motion goes Pearson to the far left side. And they give the Newhouse a short man, a trap block. He breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, inside the 35 fumble, picked up for the Bears. It's picked up by Gary Fensick, and the Bears have recovered the 2nd Dallas fumble. Billy Newsom knocked it loose. It bounced free up into the air, and Gary Fensick covers the ball at the Chicago Bear 35.
And it looked to me like Ron Ridehalgh, who forced the first fumble, is the man who forced that fumble as well.
Time out on the field. No score with 6:04 to go in the first quarter at Texas Stadium.
All across our land, your people know our brand.
Get the camera track closer, Rodney. I must get a close-up of this remarkable beast. Closer, closer. Get us out of here, Rodney.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Peel out of Banana Land with the Hot Plug AC. AC spark plugs give quick starts, smooth power, and if you need a tune-up, AC spark plugs can help restore good gas mileage. Go with the hot one, AC Fire Ring Spark Plugs. You'll be thankful you did.
So when you want to go, we're the name to know.
Great concert, Ricky. There's a mob out back. Quick, into the car.
Get me out of here. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC.
Well, the Cowboys have coughed it up in their first 2 possessions, both times moving the ball, and the Bears will now have it at their own 35-yard line. There's still no score with 6:04 left to go in the first quarter, and let's see if the Bears can move the ball against that vaunted Cowboy defense.
Very interesting beginning. The Cowboys fumbled 14 times in 14 regular season games, and now here in the first quarter of the first playoff game of 77, they fumbled twice.
They were +7 on the regular season in turnovers. Scott wide to the near side. Rather split wide to the right. Deuce backfield of Payton and Harper. Avellini with a call. Drops back to pass. Pumps, sets up deep now, throws it long with a 10 for Scott. He's behind everybody. It's Rather, and he overthrows him. Oh, he had the 2 secondary men beaten by 5 yards. The ball was overthrown by about 4 yards. Rather had nothing but daylight between himself and the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Avellini with a stop-and-go fake. Pump, then drop back even deeper and let it go.
Looked like 6 points when he let it go, but it was overthrown by about 5 yards. Rather was 5 yards out in front of Charlie Waters, the strong safety, and Benny Barnes, the left cornerback.
2nd down, 10. The Bears at their own 35, and they are indeed throwing on 1st down.
They gave Avellini good protection, too.
Slot to the right, deuce backfield. Avellini gives to Walter Payton, tries up the middle, and gets about 3 yards out to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7. The center of that flex defense cutting him down, and Tom Henderson, known as Hollywood here in the Dallas area, made the tackle on the play. Henderson, a 220-pound third-year pro out of Langston College, intercepted 3 passes, returning 179 yards and a touchdown this year. He is a great one.
When the Bears were down here last year, a game they lost 31-21, Walter Payton was held to 41 yards on 17 carries.
Well, so far today, Walter was 6 yards and 3 carries. It's 3rd down and 7. Slot to the near left side, Rather lining up inside of Scott, deuce backfield. The Bears at their own 38. Avellini back to pass. Has time. Throws the ball, tipped up in the air, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Henderson was the closest man to it. And it'll be 4th down and 7 yards to go. Avellini initially had time to throw, and then it was somebody, and it might have been Too Tall Jones at 6'9", reaching up there in that pass rush to tip the ball away. 4th down and 7, the Bears at their own 38, and Bob Parsons, who had a 52-yarder into the Dallas end zone the first time he kicked the ball, will be in again.
It was Too Tall Jones at 6'9", who deflected that pass. Unfortunately, it went beyond the linebackers of Dallas. So they would have had an interception.
Johnson is deep at the Dallas 18. Parsons averaged 40.4 per kick, but as I mentioned, the net is the most impressive factor, and he booms another one. This will be a return, and Johnson makes the grab at the 17, and is grabbed by Walter Scheid and tripped up and dropped at the 21-yard line. Lenny hung on long enough to bring him down, and then Dan Neal, the center on the kicking situations, got down there to help him out. A 44-yard Parsons punt, a 3-yard return, and the Bears do a great job of containing in the kicking game. With 5:01 to go in the first period, there's another timeout, there's no score.
About 25 years ago, in a small town in Illinois, a gasoline station was opened by a couple of brothers who thought they had a good idea. Sell gas and oil and try to sell a lot at lower prices. If the motorists could pay less for gas and the station could still make money, both the gas station owners and the customers would be happy about it. Well, the idea worked, and the motorists became good customers who came back time after time to fill up with gas. And those repeat customers made it possible for a company called Checker Oil to grow from that one station in a small Illinois town to several hundred throughout the Midwest. Today, Checker still keeps its gas prices lower than the rest. This Checker Oil Company story is one that demonstrates a simple and straightforward way of doing business. Give the customer a good product at a fair price. And for its New Year's resolution, Checker promises you to keep its prices lower so you can keep on saying and believing, that Checker, it's a gas.
Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back at Texas Stadium on a sunny, beautiful winter day in Texas for a football game, the temperature nearing the 50-degree mark. You couldn't ask for more in the way of weather, and so far the Bears, even though they've been outgained by the Dallas Cowboys, have recovered 2 fumbles, and it's still a scoreless tie. And the Cowboys will put it in play for the 3rd time now, starting this drive on their own 21-yard line. Pearson wide to the near side, Richards split wide to the left, and they shift into the I formation. Dorsett, the deep man, and in motion to the left side goes Pearson, taking Ellis with him. And Staubach, quick pitch now to Dorsett, cuts to the outside, slips by one man, spins away and dives out to the 26-yard line. Tripped up by Gary Fensick, but it was Doug Buffone who had an arm on him as he tried to turn the corner and slowed him up just a bit. Billy Newsom also took part in the play, got a piece of Dorsett. A gain of 5, make it 4 as they move it back to the 25-yard line. It's 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
He looked as tough to bring down as Walter Payton on that play. It looked like Buffone had him dead to rights. He wrapped both arms around his legs, but never quite got the arms all around him. Dorsett broke the tackle and picked up a pretty good gain.
Well, we'll give him 5, although it's closer to 4. The ball just outside the 25-yard line, 2nd down and a long 5. Slot to the near right side, deuce backfield, and again it's Drew Pearson in motion to the far left side. And Staubach, play action, fake to Newhouse, back to pass, puts it down the right sideline. Dorsett makes the grab at the 50-yard line, makes one tackle and goes out of bounds to the Bear 42-yard line. Great catch by Tony Dorsett as he took the ball literally away from Allen Ellis, and Staubach laid it right on the money. 1st down for the Cowboys at the Chicago Bear 42-yard line where the dancing Dorsett stepped out of bounds. Well, Well, he had a great year pass receiving as well, with 29 catches, good for 273 yards and a score. Overall, he had 13 touchdowns in his rookie year. And he is one of the few Heisman Trophy winners who have come into the NFL in a big way.
Indeed, he has. Didn't he also pass for a touchdown this year?
He did. First down for the Cowboys just outside the Bear 42-yard line. Now, this is just about the point where they've been breaking down. Both ends are in tight I formation, and the give to Dorsett tries the right tackle slot and wedges a couple to the 40-yard line where the Bears are waiting on him. And Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, made most of the tackle on the play with help from Jimmy Osborne. It'll be second down and a short 8. He picked up about 2.5 on the play.
The Dallas Cowboys have outgained the Bears 112 yards to 9 so far. But thanks to 2 Dorsett fumbles, they're 0-0 on the scoreboard. You know, last year when the Bears were down here, Dallas outgained them 529 yards to 110, yet the Bears were only down by 3 until late in the game.
Newhouse got that second fumble. Don't give Tony all the credit. Deuce backfield, wide receivers on either side. Here comes Pearson in motion back towards the line. Play action fake by Staubach. Rifles it over the middle. Caught in a hooking pattern by Golden Richards. Breaks one tackle inside the 30 to the 27-yard line for a first down. Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, finally collared him on the play as Richards did a button hook, came back towards the line of scrimmage, made the catch, and then circled upfield for another 4 or 5 yards. The first reception of the day for Golden Richards out of Hawaii in his 5th year. He can fly.
Well-balanced team by the Cowboys. They can, in fact, they're ranked 4th in both passing and rushing, but they are 1st overall. They do both well.
Johnson wide to the left. Pearson wide to the near side. Staubach is 4 out of 5 for 59 yards. He is riddling the Bears secondary. I formation. He drops back to pass. Sets up. Now scrambles to the outside. Being chased by Newsom. On the move. Pump fakes. Crosses the 25 to 20. And out of bounds at the 18-yard line on the near side. He was given a little bump there by Doug Buffone and Billy Newsom, who chased him futilely for about 30 yards. He circled him out of the pocket and vainly tried to catch up with him and finally bumped Roger just as he crossed the sidelines at the 18. It'll be 3rd down and a yard.
Bears put Staubach out last year by breaking the little finger on his throwing hand. This year he jammed his thumb against somebody's helmet in one game, and that slowed him up. That happened just before the Dallas Cowboys lost their only 2 games of the year.
That's Staubach's second carry, and he has gone for impressive yardage both times. They're going to measure, and they're going to be first down. They got it. I thought they had to go to the 17. It's at the 18-yard line and a Dallas first down. So Staubach now has 21 yards and 2 scrambles. The first time he ran up the slot. This time he circled wide to the right and down the sidelines. And that's the 7th first down for the Cowboys. The Bears have yet to pick up one. Wide to the left now is Drew Pearson. Wide to the near side is Golden Richards. And they shift into the I. And now in motion goes Dupree, the tight end to the left side. And the give to Newhouse, trying to follow the block. Reverses himself. He's to the 15, to the 10. Still on his feet, down to the 6-yard line. He broke 3 tackles on the play. A great job of reversing the play by Newhouse. It was stacked up. It was to go to the left side. He cut it back to the right, and Tommy Hicks finally brought him down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Dallas.
Yes, indeed. A great run by Newhouse. You've seen Walter Payton do that same thing. Very elusive. He wanted to go off left tackle, and the hole was completely plugged up, and he just reversed himself. And now they're at the 6-yard line. 2:08 to go in the first quarter. No score. With the Cowboys marching for the 3rd time. Turnovers have stopped in the last 2.
1st and goal from the Chicago Bears 6-yard line. Slot to the left now. Johnson lining up inside of Drew Pearson. Dorsett in motion out of the deuce backfield to the right side to give the Newhouse. Tries the right side, bangs off of one man, lunges down to the 3-yard line. He ran right over Doug Buffone. Gary Fensick finally tripped him up. With help from a 3rd Chicago Bear who finally gets up. It's Alan Ellis. Don't make that Doug Plank.
Actually, it was Jim Osborne who missed the initial tackle right at the 5-yard line. He ran right over Osborne. Ozzie was obviously disgusted with himself.
It's 2nd and goal at the Bear 2-yard line. A gain of 4 for Newhouse as he slammed that one off of right guard and tackle. And Newhouse for the ball game now 42 yards and 6 carries. Dorsett has gained 27 and 8. They line up in a triple I. Now they shift to the power I right. Dennison is in there to block. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. And they give it. Dennison tries the left side. Gets down near the goal line. Touchdown! Doug Dennison slid it off the left side out of the power I. He was lined up as the wing right. Took the handoff and just barely got it into the end zone. Doug Dennison, his 2nd touchdown of the year. And the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 6-0 lead here with 1:06 remaining in the first quarter of play.
79-yard march for the Dallas Cowboys, and they made it look easy. Now they're going for the extra point.
Ephraim Herrera, who was the leading scorer as a kicker, second to Walter Payton in the NFC, and third overall in the NFL, is in to try. There's the snap, the ball is up, and the kick is through, and it's a 7-0 Dallas lead late in the first quarter here at Texas Stadium.
The Spinners for Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer.
Everybody's looking to find what's best in the things they do and the music they hear. Take on the challenge of Pabst Blue Ribbon if you're looking for quality beer. There are beers within the other. Try us once and you'll discover the great beer taste we're bringing home to you. With Pabst Blue Ribbon, the quality always comes through.
Pabst challenges you to discover a better tasting premium beer. Taste and compare Pabst Blue Ribbon with the beer you're now drinking. You'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes, because our quality means the best tasting beer money can buy.
With Pabst Blue Ribbon, the quality always comes through.
Well, the Cowboys have moved it for 151 yards to the Chicago Bears 9 here in the first quarter of play. They picked up 8 first downs. The Bears still looking for their first down of the game. The 2 fumbles have slowed down the Cowboys just a bit here, but they now lead the ball game 7-0 with 1:06 to go in the first period. A 79-yard drive in 8 plays.
Well, it's kind of the way you feared it might go. Bears, maybe they can run back a touchdown. They're going to have to come up with some big plays defensively and with special teams to be able to cope with a team like Dallas. They aren't going to outpass them and outrun them, I don't think, unless Walter Payton has a big day, but he's a marked man.
Walter Scheid is the deep man, and there's a high, rather short kick by Herrera, and it's Walter Scheid at the 11-yard line, to the far side of the 20, 25, and dives out to about the 28-yard line. A big pileup of bodies there.
A little surprised they didn't have Payton back there, Dave.
17-yard return by Lenny Walterscheid, a rookie out of southern Utah, who is a fine special teams player and a backup secondary man. And so the Bears will put it in play from their own 29-yard line. First down, they're trailing 7-0. We're in the final minute of play in quarter number 1.
Third possession for the Bears. They almost had a touchdown on one of their possessions when Avellini overthrew Bo Rather, who was wide open.
Rather wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the right. Deuce backfield to give to Walter Payton. He runs into all kinds of trouble and loses a yard. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Harvey Martin overran the player, would have had Walter at the 25, and finally pinching him down was D.D. Lewis, the linebacker, and they spot the ball right at the 29, no gain. Second down and 10.
At Dallas front four is a very physical defensive line. Tom Landry says potentially it could be the greatest line in Dallas history. Of course, Bob Lilly, one of their all-time greats, is now gone, but again, potentially, Landry says it could be their best defensive line.
They're awesome. They are awesome. Wide to the near side is Schubert. Scott split wide to the right on second down and 10. The Bears from their own 29-yard line. Avellini to throw. Swings it out there, and it's dropped by Latta at the 34-yard line. He was given a little how do you do there by Tom Henderson, the linebacker, who followed him out on the near sidelines, and Latta has dropped his first catchable ball, really, in about 6 or 7 weeks. He had problems early in the year and then seemed to hang on to everything, and that time he let it dribble away. Third down and 10.
Interesting thing about Latta, he's made some big, important catches over the course of the season. That Kansas City catch in particular that beat the Chiefs in the final minute. But 18 of his 26 catches came in the Bears' first 7 games. In their last 7, he's caught only 8 passes. I was kind of surprised to see that.
Cowboys have 6 defensive backs in the lineup. They have Gregory in at tackle on third down and 10. Deuce backfield, the ends are split. And on a draw to Walter Payton. And Payton runs by Harvey Martin, but is tackled by Aaron Kyle as he crosses the 30 out to the 34-yard line. They went for the draw, but it was very, very congested in the running lane, and Payton stopped at the 33-yard line, a gain of 4. It's fourth down and 6. And that's the end of the first quarter here at Texas Stadium, the score. The Dallas Cowboys 7, the Chicago Bears nothing.
For many years, the Buick dealers of Chicagoland and northern Indiana have offered you a car for every need and every pocketbook. And they still do. Only now, your choice is greater than ever. For example, your Buick dealer's new 1978 Century line is really fantastic. 10 different Century models, 4 new coupes alone. From the practical, down-to-earth Century Special to the top-of-the-line Century Sport Coupe. But the most outstanding feature of these new Century models is a new aerodynamic fastback design. A European look without sacrificing room, comfort, or ride. And because the Buick Century has a new 108-inch wheelbase, it's a pleasure to drive and park in city traffic. There's just no other car like it. See your Buick dealer and drive one for the fun of it. You'll discover a lot of science and a little magic in every Buick Century for 1978. You'll want one.
Old Chicago, the world's most unique and fun-filled amusement park and specialty shopping place, all indoors and open 365 days a year, is having its sneak a peek at the Park Festival with new rides, new shows, and a whole new dynamic look. Come be a sidewalk superintendent for the multi-million-dollar improvement program. Come sneak a peek at the park, Old Chicago, I-55 in Bolingbrook.
Joe McConnell, along with Brad Palmer, back at Irving, Texas Stadium, the home of the Cowboys. We're at 7-0 Dallas as we get set for the second quarter of play. The Bears faced with a kicking situation on 4th and 6. And once again this week, we're happy to welcome to our broadcast the worldwide facility, the American Forces Radio Network.
Bears are 2-0 on American Forces Radio, and they're 3-0 on network television this year. Those are about the only 2 pluses I could find of all the statistics leading up to this game.
Parsons has averaged 48 yards in 2 previous punts. Butch Johnson back at the Cowboy 25-yard line. Dan Neal into center. There's the snap. It's a beauty. And there's the kick by Parsons. He hits a high-hanging punt. Johnson drifts under it at the 28, up to the 30, the 35, the 40. A penalty flag is thrown. He dives out to the 42-yard line, and it'll, in all probability, be a clip against the Cowboys. Lenny Walterscheid made the tackle on the play, and that could nullify a fine punt return by Butch Johnson.
Interesting thing, the Dallas Cowboys set a club record for penalties this year, 106 penalties. Bears cut down their penalties. They only had 97.
And you know, this is the first penalty we've seen all day. The first quarter was penalty-free on both sides, and this will be a 15-yard walk-off against the Cowboys, which will help the Bear defensive unit and put the ball back to the Dallas Cowboy 25-plus yard line.
A holding penalty.
Illegal use of hands. Number 65 receivers during the return. First down.
Well, I guess we got that explained graphically enough.
Good acoustics here.
That's the first time we've had that kind of service this year. This is a beautiful stadium, no question about it. Maybe a bit on the gaudy side, but a fine football facility. Pearson wide to the near side. Richard split wide to the right, and they shift into the deuce behind Staubach. First down for the Cowboys at their own 25-yard line. And they give on a cross buck to Newhouse. No, it's Staubach keeping, rolling to the right across the 25 to the 30-yard line. Jimmy Osborne made a fine ankle tackle from behind as Staubach, on a play-action fake, bootlegged it to the right, and I don't think he intended to do that, but he still managed to pick up about 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The Cowboys at their own 30-yard line, and Staubach now has 26 yards in 3 carries.
It has been all Dallas here in the opening 16 minutes of play. In fact, the Bears may be fortunate to be behind only 7-0 because 2 turnovers stopped a couple of Dallas drives. They've outgained the Bears 151 yards, 156 now to 9.
Now look at this. There's the stack I. And coming in motion to the left side now to the deep position in the eye is Pearson. Quick pitch now to Dorsett. Cuts to the left side looking for a block. Gets out across the 35 and lunges to the 37-yard line. First down for the Cowboys. Fensick made the tackle. Gary Fensick, who has led the club all year in defensive stats, got help from Wright Elch. But the Cowboys on the quick pitch to Dorsett coming to the left side got 7 more yards into first down at the Dallas 37. And for Dorsett now for the afternoon, 34 yards and 9 carries.
13:33 to go in the first half, and it's 7-0 Dallas.
Pearson comes wide to the left. Dorsett and Newhouse in the deuce. Now they drop the second tight end, Saldi, off the line in the slot, and he goes in motion to the right side. And to give right up the middle is Newhouse. And he blasts his way to the 40-yard line where he's triple-teamed and hung up there and pulled down. A gain of 3 as he ran it right up the slot. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Buffon and Hartenstein and Wright Elch were the 3 Bears that converged on him just across the 40-yard line. We'll give him 4 on the play, 2nd down, and a long, long 7. Golden Richards comes wide to the left side, and Drew Pearson send wide to the right. Dorsett moves out of the wing into the deuce, and now Newhouse shifts a second time to the right side. Long count by Staubach. Play action fake to Dorsett. Drops back to pass. Rifles it down the middle. And it's caught by Pearson at the Bear 40. To the 35 to 30 and out of bounds to the 28-yard line. Tommy Hicks nearly missed tipping that ball as he reached out with his right hand, but it was there right in the letters. And Pearson, cutting across the field, carries it down to the 28-yard line where he was run out of bounds by Virgil Livers. Another first down for the Dallas Cowboys, and Staubach is having himself quite a ball game. He is 5 out of 6 for a total of 91 yards.
Hicks had Drew Pearson front at that time and just narrowly missed deflecting that ball. by less than a foot. It was a matter of inches, and Pearson was right behind him and made a great grab cutting across the field. Game of inches that time.
A 22-yard gain for the Cowboys. First down at the Bear 28-yard line. Pearson standing wide to the left. They have both tight ends in the lineup. They shift now into the I formation. And Staubach drops back to pass. Pump fakes now. Whistled it for the end zone. Left corner. Pearson there. Makes the catch. A great catch, and it's Dupree, the tight end. Billy Joe Dupree took it away from Livers and Fensick. And the Cowboys have gone on top 13-0 on a 28-yard Roger Staubach bomb.
It was good coverage by the Bears. Fensick was right on top of him, but Staubach laid it in there beautifully, and Billy Joe Dupree at 6'4" was able to make the grab over Gary Fensick at 6'1". It was just a beautiful pass play, well executed. I thought Fensick was right with him.
Well, Fensick and Livers were both there. Ephraim Herrera in to try for the extra point now. There's a snap. The kick is up, and it is good. And the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 14-0 lead. With 12:23 to go in the first half, they went 75 yards in 5 plays.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known.
Ah, this is the life. Living in the great outdoors, sleeping under the stars.
What's that moving by the fire, Harry?
I think, that's a skunk.
You can trust the Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
Split from Skunksville and make it to Battery City. The Delco Freedom Battery. It's maintenance-free, because Freedom never needs water, and you should never have to check it like ordinary batteries. Get Freedom. You'll be thankful you did.
They've got me stuck when the starting's tough.
Nanook. Wake up, Nanook. Somebody is outside the igloo. It's our daughter. She's eloping.
Hurry, honey. Let's go before my father gets up.
You can trust the Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
Nanook, our daughter is gone.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
Well, they were doing quite a feature down here on a thing called Biorhythms last night on television here locally in Dallas, and they said that Staubach would have all 3 of his biorhythm waves up today, and he is 6 out of 7 for 119 yards and 1 touchdown. That's quite a performance, and the Cowboys right now have 226 yards total offense.
And didn't they also say that Walter Payton would be on a triple low today as far as biorhythms is concerned?
No, just a bit under average. They said that 3 out of the 4 Bear defensive linemen were on triple lows. There's a high pop-up type kick. Left side taken by Musso at the 13 to the 20, and he is hammered down. And a penalty flag, 2 of them are thrown. Musso got about 6 yards on the return. He was literally drilled there by Tony Hill, a rookie wide receiver on this Cowboy ball club, and the penalty, if it's against the Bears, will put the ball all the way back to about the 10-yard line. Now, when things start to go bad, they go bad in a hurry. Staubach has rushed 3 times for 25 yards and has passed for 115 already on 6 out of 7.
Well, the Bears obviously are in a bad spot. They've been in this kind of position against other teams before. You may recall they trailed the Rams 13-0 early, but then Avellini hooked up to James Scott with a couple of bombs. They trailed Kansas City 17-0, came back to win that game. But they're going against a team that was 12-2. And a team that is number 1 in both offense and defense. It's pretty tough to come back from a 14-0 lead under those circumstances. But we haven't seen the Bears really fall apart, except, well, the Saints game, I guess it would qualify in the Houston game.
All right. Personal foul, clipping, number 46 during the return.
That's Doug Plank, number 46, clipping.
On number 81 during the return.
Yeah, Chuck Bradley also had a major infraction, a holding call, so there were 2 different penalties, 2 different calls against the Bears. The Cowboys have 11 first downs. The Bears have yet to pick up a first down, and they have only 13 yards total offense. They're starting from their own 10-yard line, trailing 14-0. Wide to the near side is Rather, split wide to the far left side is Scott. I formation. Avellini with a call now. And they give to Walter Payton. And he runs right into 3 Cowboys to the line of scrimmage and is pushed back. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
He ran right into Jethro Pugh, and Pugh had a lot of friends there.
Well, Bob Bruning, the middle linebacker out of Arizona State, another one of those Frank Cush products, made the tackle on the play. And they give Walter about a yard. It's 2nd and 9 at the Chicago Bear 11-yard line. And Walter Payton, if he's going to have a big afternoon today, when you're down 14-0, you've almost got to go to the air. And that could cut down on his chances. Wide to the near side now is Scott. Wide to the left is Steve Schubert. Deuce backfield, split about 5 yards apart. Harper on the left, Payton on the right. Avellini to throw. Has time. Quick slide into Scott. Makes the tough grab at the 21-yard line. He's high-low by Bruning and the left linebacker, Benny Barnes. And now a penalty flag is thrown. The Bears appear to have a first down, and a penalty flag is thrown after the play, Brad.
I think you'll see a personal foul. James Scott slammed the ball down to the turf in disgust after he made the catch. I think he feels that somebody gave him a pretty good blow in there.
Well, he was really...
although they're talking to Dallas.
There. Yes, they are.
Illegal procedure against the Bears. Nullifies it. They'll move the ball back to about the 5-yard line.
Now, how in the world can they call the illegal procedure after the play's already over? Those two flags were dropped after the ball was completed and the play was ended.
That's a good question, Joe McConnell.
Well, I'm not working for the NFL.
Well, I'm glad we're tuned into the referee today. We should get a pretty good explanation. Now they're giving him a first down.
Yeah, now Dick Bossing, who traveled all the way from West Lafayette, Indiana to work our stats for us today, says that maybe a spike in that particular case might be ruled illegal procedure. So the Bears would have a first down, I believe, and then they would mark 5 yards off after the play, and that's what's going to happen. I don't recall reading that rule.
I have never seen that. I don't recall reading the rule either, and I have never seen that.
Illegal procedure, number 89, offense.
Yeah, it's on Scott.
Spiking the ball while the clock is running. The first down is made. It is now 1st and 15.
Well, the Bears have a first down. That's the good news. The bad news is it's 1st and 15.
It's their first down, and Gordon McConnell, the referee, is doing a great job.
All right, there's a give to Roland Harper, and he finds a little running room, and he lunges out over the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Jethro Pugh made the tackle along with Randy White, who has been called half man, half monster, and so they've nicknamed him the Manster here.
They also call him the bionic arm because he throws a pretty mean forearm. He's a tough guy.
Well, a gain of, he started at the 16-yard line, got out to the 23, a gain of 7 for Roland Harper. That's the biggest play of the day for the Bears, with the exception of the completed pass a moment ago.
White went to school with Avellini. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Second down, about 9. Schubert wide to the left, Scott wide to the near side. Avellini, play action fake to Harper. Back to pass, looking. He's going to run now. Runs up the middle of the 25, 26-yard line. He was tackled from behind by Hollywood Henderson, and he ran almost over one of the officials who was standing there.
Isn't Reeve Sore's nickname still Hollywood?
Well, it could well be.
Randy White and Bob Avellini were teammates at Maryland. They didn't like each other, though. White would not spare anything in going in after Avellini during practice on the pass rush, and Avellini used to just throw the ball at him in disgust sometimes.
The ball is just outside the Bear 26-yard line. Third down, 5 yards to go. Scott wide to the near side, working against Barnes. Wide to the left is Rather. He'll be running against Kyle. And on a draw fake, back to pass, Avellini throws over the middle, and it's incomplete as Latta tried to come for the ball against Tom Henderson at about the 46-yard line. It was underthrown. Avellini, in heavy pressure that time, had to throw it a little bit quickly, or he might have had a fine hookup with Greg Latta, the tight end. Fourth down, 5 yards to go. The Bears are stymied at their own 26-yard line, but they did pick up their first down of the ball game.
Well, I guess James Scott wasn't spiking in disgust, but maybe out of jubilation, but it was a unfortunate penalty.
Parsons in the punt. He's had a good afternoon. He's had a great year. He wound up being the second-string all-NFC punter. And he hangs another beauty, a wobbler. And Johnson waits for it at the 28. Running to the far side. Hits, spins away, up the middle, 30, 35, 37-yard line. Jerry Muckenstern made the tackle on the play, and that was a beautiful twisting, spinning run by Butch Johnson. Schubert almost had him.
Yes, Schubert and Spivey looked like they had him dead to rights at the 25-yard line, but he got away.
First down for Dallas. Timeout is called with 9:45 to go in the second period to score. The Cowboys 14, the Bears nothing. Joe McConnell along with Brad Palmer back at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Bears 14-0, and they'll put the ball in play at the Dallas 37-yard line. Drew Pearson wide to the far right side, and coming wide to the near left side is Golden Richards. The running backs are Newhouse and Dorsett. They haven't needed Preston Pearson today. They move into a wing right. Now coming in motion is Pearson to the left side. And Staubach on a crossbuck up the middle. Big hole. Across the 40 to the 45-yard line goes Robert Newhouse, where he's gang tackled and finally driven down. Doug Plank and Alan Ellis in the secondary get the tackle on the play, but some great cross-blocking, flushing out the Bears' front four, left a big hole for Newhouse.
9:26 to go in the first half. It's 14-0 Dallas. The Cowboys have yet to punt in this football game. They were stopped on 2 initial drives by fumbles. They marched 79 yards on 8 plays for their first touchdown, 75 yards on 5 plays for their second touchdown. This is their 5th possession.
All right, slot to the right side, deuce backfield, and now racing to the near side is Johnson in motion. And Staubach gives to Dorsett, sliding through, breaks one tackle and gets up near the 49-yard line where he spun around and twisted down.
First down.
Yep. Wayman Bryant and Mike Hartenstein made the tackle on the play, but it's a Dallas first down, just shy of the 50-yard line on the Dallas side. Yeah, they're chopping up the Bears pretty good, offensively and defensively. Staubach, 6 out of 7. That's a 12th first down for the Cowboys. On the ground, Dorsett, 38 yards and 10 carries. Newhouse has been the big horse with 53 yards and 8 carries. Slot to the right, wing to the left. And now dropping back into the deuce is Dorsett. Staubach with a long call. Dorsett now in motion to the left side. Staubach rolls to the right, has a couple of blockers, gets outside of containment, still running, still scrambling, out of bounds at the 50-yard line. He was flushed out, but he managed to hot foot it to the sidelines and picked up a yard. His 4th carry, 27 yards for Roger Staubach. James Osborne ran him out of bounds. 2nd and 9 at the 50-yard line.
Well, the Bear quarterbacks have been sacked 26 times this year. The Dallas quarterbacks have been sacked 33 times.
Yeah, but turn that around on the defensive side. The Bears 27 quarterback sacks. The Cowboys 53 and 23 alone for Harvey Martin. That is an awesome stat right there.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson comes wide to the left. Wide to the right is Pearson. The backs are split in the deuce. And on a draw, the Newhouse up the middle to the 45, cuts to the outside of the 40, still on his feet at the 35, and carries Finsick all the way down to the 30-yard line. Robert Newhouse just chewing up the Bears. Finsick hung on for the final 3 yards and finally kind of bulldogged him down. And let's see where they're going to spot the football. They're going to move back upfield about the 32-yard line, but that's an 18-yard run on a draw by Robert Newhouse, who really picked his way beautifully. First down for the Cowboys, and they're closing in on 300 yards offense in the first half.
They're doing it with precision. Staubach working this offense like a surgeon.
Slot to the right, I formation. First down for the Cowboys. Quick pitch now to Dorsett, tries the left side, cuts back in, hurdles one man, and lunges down inside the 25 to the 24. Osborne and Hartenstein made the tackle.
Dorsett carries to the 24-yard line.
Boy, they're quick. They mark it inside the 25, so we'll call it the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 3 yards to go.
Dallas isn't doing with the big play the way the Houston Oilers did in beating the Bears 47-0. It is grabbing 6, 7, 8 yards at a pop.
Bears might want to choose to leave Texas alone. Now Dorsett drops back into the eye. Both ends are in tight. Pearson wide to the right. And they give to Dorsett on a counter play, and he goes to the 21-yard line. The flow was to the right. Dorsett tried to crack it back a little bit, although he tried virtually the middle of the line. And it was Ron Rideout and Billy Newsom who pinned him at the 21-yard line. But it's another Dallas first down.
Now Jerry Myers comes on at left tackle, and Jim Osborne comes out. Wayman Bryant has been playing at right side linebacker, his old position, back from a shoulder injury. Muckenstern started the last 2 games.
Well, the Bears won that game in that ice storm against the Giants last week without 3 players. Slot to the right, deuce backfield. First down for the Cowboys at the Bear 21. Here comes Pearson in motion to the near left side. Staubach, play action fake to Newhouse. Back to pass, pumps, fakes, now dumps it out to Newhouse. 3 blockers in front to the 20. Cuts back to the 15, to the 10. Inside to the 7-yard line. On the screen to Robert Newhouse. Staubach set it up beautifully with a first fake and then dumped it out on the right flat. And Tony Dorsett was one of the 3 blockers down there trying to clear the way for him. Buffon and Finsick finally combined to bring him down. But it's 1st and goal just inside the Chicago Bear 8-yard line. And Ron Rideout, who was the leading Bear lineman this year in defensive stats with 9.5 quarterback sacks, comes limping out. He apparently twisted an ankle. Jeff Seavey, who was switched from offensive line to defensive tackle, has replaced him. 1st and goal for the Cowboys inside the Bear 8-yard line. Dallas already leading 14-0 and looking for more. With 5:44 remaining in the first half, Dallas has dominated in every phase. And I mean complete domination.
About as complete as you can get.
Well, the Cowboys have 15 first half first downs. The Bears have picked up 1. Slot to the near left side with Richards and Pearson. Or make that Johnson. And Johnson out of the slot in motion to the far right side. And they give to Dorsett, tries the right side, cuts back inside to the 5 to the 4-yard line. Veered off right guard and then cut back against the flow. And Jerry Myers makes the tackle just inside the 5-yard line. It's 2nd and goal, Dallas.
Big Ralph Neely, the 13-year veteran who has announced his retirement after this season. The pounded the turf, felt he missed a block that may have cost the Cowboys a touchdown, but it's 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line, and nothing stopped them yet.
11 times in the last 12 years, the Cowboys have been knocking on greatness. They have won the championship only one time. They've been to the Super Bowl only twice. High formation, receivers wide on either side. And Staubach hands off to Newhouse, and he rams it down near the 2-yard line, maybe inside. Gary Fensick, one of 3 Bears to haul him down, along with the middle linebacker, Tom Hicks. It's going to be 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. Jim Osborne was back in there.
Well, the Bears need something of a lift, and it would be a lift if they could stop the Dallas Cowboys down here inside the 5-yard line. 3rd down, 2 yards to go for the touchdown, and Dallas 42% on 3rd down conversions coming into this game.
Johnson wide to the left, wide to the far right side is Richards. Deuce backfield, split about 5 yards apart on 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. And Staubach will throw. No, he's going to run, and he's stumped at the 4-yard line by Jerry Myers. He straightened up. I think he was going to try to throw the ball in on a quick slant, and Jerry Myers was right on top of him to sack him on the play at the 4-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal.
It was either going to be a quick pass over the middle or a quarterback draw. Wouldn't have surprised me to see it a quarterback draw.
No, not at all. Well, it's 4th down and goal from the 4-yard line. And they have put the field goal unit in. And little Ephraim Herrera, the sidewinder, will try for the 17th Dallas point. It'll be a 21-yard kick.
He apparently wanted Billy Joe Dupree over the middle.
There's the snap. The ball is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. A 21-yard Ephraim Herrera field goal, capping a 3rd Dallas scoring drive here in the first half. And with 3:45 to go in the second period, it's now 17-0 Dallas. Well, the Cowboys have picked up 276 yards total offense for the Bears, 35. They have 15 first downs to 1 for the Bears, and they capped their 3rd successive scoring drive, a 63-yard march in 11 plays on a 21-yard Ephraim Herrera field goal. It's 17-0. And Walter Payton is back awaiting the kickoff now.
I'm a little surprised he wasn't in there earlier. Let's see if they kick off to him.
Well, Herrera hits it, and they're going to kick it to Walter. Well, it's coming to the near side. It's taken by Walter Scheid at the 8-yard line. To the 15, to the 20, to the 25, penalty flag thrown. He's spilled at the 30-yard line. Jay Saldi made the tackle on the play. A great athlete, a backup at tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, who will also play some slot back. And it's going to be another major infraction against the Bears on the kickoff return. And that's been their big problem here this afternoon, along with the great Dallas Ball Club, of course. I'm talking about mistakes that you make to hurt yourself.
And to make matters worse, Ron Rideout sprained his right ankle and may or may not be back in the game. The way he was limping off, I have my doubts we'll see him again.
15-yard walk-off against the Bears will put the ball at the 12-yard line.
That hurts. They're really thin up there in that defensive line.
Personal foul, flipping, number 81 during the return. First down.
Second major infraction against Big Chuck Bradley. The Bears will line up in a slot to the near right side. Rather, lining up inside James Scott. High formation. And Avellini fakes to Payton, drops back to pass, puts it over the middle, and Scott can't hang on at the 29-yard line. Barnes and Kyle collided with him. Scott had his hand on the ball and just couldn't quite bring it in. Second down and 10. The Bears thrown 12-yard line. It was a good pattern. It was an excellently thrown pass, but Scott just couldn't quite find the handle on it. Avellini is 2 out of 7 for 14 yards.
I like the way that kid goes down in the middle. A lot of wide receivers don't like to go in there. You get your head knocked off, and Scott, 6'1", 193 pounds, he goes right in there and makes some big plays in the middle.
Scott has truly blossomed into a fine wide receiver this year.
19 catches in his last 3 games.
Schubert wide to the near side, Scott wide to the left. Avellini will throw again. Steps up, lobs it over the middle. Payton has it at the 32-yard line, and is really jarred down. Oh, a collision there. A big collision with Charlie Waters, the strong safety, but Payton hangs on at the 32-yard line. A first down for the Bears, and there's the biggest Chicago offensive play of the day.
Oh, how Payton held on to that ball. As soon as he grabbed it and looked upfield, bang, he hit a wall. I think it was Cliff Harris,
the free safety
he ran into, and what a collision, and to hang on to the ball under those circumstances.
Well, they call Cliff Crash Harris because of his style of play. He and Plank are both headhunters from that free safety position.
All pro also. Free agent out of Ouachita Baptist.
A 20-yard pickup. Avellini to throw. Swings it out the right flat to Payton, or rather to Harper. He cuts back at the 35 and gets out to the 38-yard line. Cowboys spilled all over the turf. Making the tackle on the play was Randy White with help from Tom Henderson. So Avellini now hooks up with a second straight pass, a little flare to Roland Harper, who was the leading Bear receiver a year ago, and the ball's at the 38-yard line. It'll be second down and 4 yards to go.
It was a little safety valve pass, and considering the fact he had no blocking in front of him, it was not a screen. He got a pretty good gain out of it.
Schubert comes wide to the near side. Scott split wide to the left, high formation. Bears trailing 17-0 late in the second period. There's a quick square out. Caught by Schubert, and he gets the first down up near the 50-yard line. Just a quick down and out to Schubert, and Benny Barnes ran him out of bounds at the Chicago Bear 49. There's the second successive first down for the Bears. They started at their own 12-yard line, and they have their best drive of the day underway, and they're all the way out to the Chicago 49. Cavallini now 3 out of 4 on this drive.
How many times have we seen the Bears come back from big deficits to get rolling by going to the air? Sometimes it gets them out of their conservative shell when they fall behind, and we've seen them move the football pretty well on occasion.
Rather in the slot to the left, deuce backfield of Harper and Payton. Payton on the right side. First down for the Bears near the midfield stripe. They give to Payton. They're going to try the sweep. He gets a block. He cuts back at the 50. Knocked off balance and then helped by one of his own trailing blockers, Reeby Sorey, who knocked him ahead a couple of yards across the 45 to the 44 in Dallas territory. So there's Walter Payton's biggest run of the day, and he got a 2-yard push from Reeby Sorey, who had pulled and tried to block on the play. Cliff Harris made the tackle, and we're down to the 2-minute warning now here in the first half in Dallas. The score, 17-0 in favor of the Cowboys. Joe McConnell along with Brad Palmer back at Texas Stadium with 1:58 to play in the first half. The Cowboys have dominated here, leading 17-0. But the Bears are on the move, and they have the ball at the Dallas 44, the first time they've been in Big D territory all day. Payton with that 7-yard sweep now has 18 yards and 7 carries. It'll be second down and 3 yards to go. Schubert splits wide to the far left side. Scott wide to the near side. Deuce backfield. Cavallini with a hot hand right now. Drops back to pass. Square out on the left side, and it's caught by Schubert on the dive at the 39-yard line. A gambling Aaron Kyle over on the far sidelines went for the interception. Schubert makes the diving grab at the Dallas 39. Another Bear first down.
8 catches for Schubert all year, and already he's caught 2 in the last 2 minutes. And actually 4 of his 8 receptions came from Bob Parsons on fake punts.
Good stat, Brad. Parsons wound up 4 out of 4 in the passing department this year out of punt formation. And one of them, a 33-yarder to Schubert, broke open a close ball game.
Schubert, this is his first game since Green Bay when Dave Riller nearly broke his leg by kicking him.
Slot to the near right side. Rather lining up inside James Scott. Deuce backfield. Avellini sets up deep to throw. Throws it to the left side. A turnout to Scott. He's got it at the 30. Russell down. And they're going to mark the ball near the 29. Charlie Waters twisted him around and dropped him. Or is that Greg Latta? I believe it's Greg Latta, the tight end, number 88 instead of 89.
He actually had the first down, but his momentum brought him inside the stick, and so he's about a foot shy. It'll be second down about a foot, just inside the Dallas 30-yard line. And the Bears have moved the football now for the first time today, marching all the way from their 12.5-yard line.
And that is 5 completions for Mr. Avellini on this long march. Second down, less than a yard, inside the Dallas 30, and Avellini once more. Stays in the pocket, has time, throws at the end zone, intended for Latta, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Charlie Waters. Latta was open momentarily,
but it's no touchback. He thought it was a touchback, but he stepped on the goal line, and he did have he thought a minute and then ran with the ball.
Yeah, he came out 1 foot.
It could have been a safety, but he got out to the 10-yard line, and Dallas gets the ball, but boy, it looked like a touchdown. The ball was a little underthrown.
Just a fraction of a second late. Avellini had it right there, and Latta was between the 2 defenders, but Waters came across and picked it off. And as you called it, Brad, he started out, he was 1 foot out, and then dropped back in, then changed his mind and carried it out to the 11-yard line with the Cowboys take over. Well, that's a tough break. That was a great Bear drive there.
4th interception this season for Charlie Waters. Possibly one for the Bears. First turnover by the Bears.
Yes. That's a shame. All right, a handoff goes to Newhouse, I believe, and he gets a couple of yards, maybe 4, out to the 15-yard line. Just straight ahead power play that time, nothing fancy. Wayman Bryant and Jerry Myers combined to bring him down. Second down and 6, the Cowboys at their own 15-yard line. 48 seconds left to go in the first half. If the Bears had scored on that drive, it's still a ball game. Actually, there's still a half to go, but the Cowboys can breathe a lot easier now with a 17-0 lead at halftime. Tom Landry's big problem will be to keep the team up with that competitive edge during the intermission.
Kansas City didn't do it, that's for sure.
Well, as we mentioned, this is not Kansas City. Staubach will just take the ball and fall on it at the 14-yard line. Taking the snap from center, falls on it with 20 seconds to go. That should be the final play of the first half. The Bears on a fine drive had the pass picked off right at the goal line when it looked like a sure 6 for Greg Latta. The ball was just a fraction of a second late in arriving. Well, the Bears would be right back in it. Clock winding down. 3, 2, 1. Both teams heading for the dressing room. It's halftime at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The Cowboys lead the Chicago Bears 17-0. Well, it's halftime here in Irving, Texas. The Cowboys, as expected, leading the Chicago Bears 17-0.
quit in this situation. If it gets much more lopsided, there's no telling what's going to happen, but I've seen them come back from this, but never against a team the stature of the Dallas Cowboys.
Walter Payton will be the middleman of the three deep with Musso and Walterscheid guarding the corners, and Ephraim Herrera set to kick it away to start the second half here at Texas Stadium. The ball is in the air, and this time it will go to Walter Payton. A high wobbler. Walter takes it at the 4-yard line behind the wedge to the 15, to the 20, cutting to the outside of the 25, and eludes another man, gets to the 30-yard line, and a great run back. Walter Payton skipping and darting away, cutting by a couple of three Dallas would-be tacklers, got all the way out to the 30-yard line where Randy Hughes tripped him up, and Walter had a couple of men to beat and the angle to beat coming to the near sidelines, and who knows, if he'd have gotten another step away, he might have turned that one into a big, big play. A 22, making a 23-yard kickoff return, the ball just outside the Chicago Bear 30-yard line. Play underway here in the second half. Scott wide to the near side, Rather split wide to the left. Deuce backfield of Harper and Payton. Avellini, play action fake to Payton. Rolls to the right, dumps it back into the middle. It's intercepted by D.D. Lewis at the 43-yard line, running laterally across the way, looking for a blocker at the 40, 35, 30. Sidelines down the 25, the 20 to the 18-yard line. D.D. Lewis. Lewis picked off his first interception last week against the Denver Broncos. He had only one all year, but he picked off that one. It was a bit underthrown, intended for Greg Latta again, and the Cowboys are right back in business at the Chicago Bear 19.
Oh, and didn't the Cowboys set up a nice blocking pattern for him as he cut to the far sidelines with the return? It looked like Walter Payton might get over and cut him down, but somebody cut down Walter first, and it was very close to a clip, I thought.
Well, the Cowboys have it at the Bear 19-yard line, and they can put them away for all intents and purposes if they score here.
Replay showed it was not a clip. He tripped over his own man.
In motion comes Dupree to the left side. Hand off to Newhouse. He eludes one man, skirts another, tries to turn a corner. Is going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Buffon forced it wide, and Hartenstein jarred him across the sideline stripe. Good lateral pursuit for the Bears that time, as they would not allow the play to go to the outside, and a loss of about 3 yards on the play. It's back to the 22-yard line. It's second down and 13. Newhouse at 79 yards, Dorsett 49, and Staubach 25 yards, rushing in the first half.
One thing the Cowboys have not done is sack Avellini this afternoon.
Wide to the near side is Pearson. Johnson split wide to the far right side. I formation, second down, 13. And Staubach on a draw to Dorsett. Explodes up the middle, to the 15 to the 10, cutting to the outside. He goes in for the touchdown in the right corner of the end zone. Tony Dorsett on a draw, bolted up the middle, cut to the outside, the right side, and beat Wayman Bryant inside the 5-yard line for a 22-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys have scored quickly here in the third period. It's now 23-0.
Well, you've seen Tony Dorsett do it many times for Pittsburgh, and electrifying run by Tony Dorsett for the touchdown as he broke a tackle at the 5-yard line. Thought they might have him, but Dallas is on the board again. It's 23-0.
19 yards in 2 plays after the D.D. Lewis interception. Herrera tries for the extra point and puts it through. 24-0 Dallas Cowboys with just a minute and 11 seconds gone in the third period. Joe McConnell and Brad Palmer back at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys have scored in the first minute and 11 seconds. 2 big plays, the interception by D.D. Lewis and the 22-yard draw by Tony Dorsett for the touchdown. It's 24-0. Payton again waiting now in the middle of the 3 deep men for the kickoff by Ephraim Herrera.
Brace yourself. Maybe they'll run it back.
Herrera approaches from the left angle and sidewinds it down the field. High pop-up kick to the right side, and Payton scoops under it at the 15 to the 20. And he's going to be hit and jarred and dropped down at the 24-yard line. He ran right into about 3 players that are already on the ground, and Tony Hill made the tackle with help from Dave Stahl.
Great catch by Payton.
Yeah.
Fielding that punt. It was actually going to Musso, and Musso moved out of the way, and Payton got it right around his shoe top.
At the 23-yard line, making the 24, the Bears will put it in play. Trailing 24-0. The Cowboys have been awesome here this afternoon. A little bit later on, it'll be the Rams and the Vikings for the right to meet the winner of this ball game for the NFC Championship. That game will be played at the Coliseum. Danny White is warming up for the Cowboys over on the far sidelines behind the bench.
He's in the bullpen.
All right, now Avellini, there's a mix-up. They finally get Payton and Harper separated and the Deuce in the backfield. First down. And they give to Roland Harper, and he gets spilled right at the 24-yard line. Subreading in there low was Ed Jones, 6'9", 265 pounds, in his 4th year from Tennessee State. Ed Too Tall Jones. Second down, and still 10 yards to go. Harper was 6 yards and 2 carries today. Schubert brings the play in from the near sidelines. Scott goes wide to the left, and Schubert comes wide to the near side. Good all-purpose type of player. from the University of Massachusetts, Steve Schubert. Second down, 10. Back to pass, Avellini. Has time. Pumps now, reverses, big chase. Rolls to the left side, picks up a block, throws it on the move, and it's through. Scott's hand to the 35-yard line. Incomplete. Great eluding run by Avellini, who then got a fine block from somebody who really chopped Ed Too Tall Jones down, and he got the ball away.
Who says Avellini can't move? It looked like Tarkenton, didn't he, the way he switched direction?
They chased him all the way inside his own 10-yard line. Once again, we'd like to welcome to our broadcast the worldwide facilities of the American Forces Radio Network. And wherever you are around the globe, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And we hope the weather is as good as it is here in Dallas. Walter Payton, I believe, was the man who threw that big block on Too Tall Jones. Walter will try anything.
I bet those people in Alaska and the Arctic got a kick out of that one.
Oh. It's third down and 10. Avellini to pass. Big blitz by Kyle. This time he's going to go down. He dropped the ball. Fumble. Dallas has it. Did he try to throw it? Dallas recovers at the 11-yard line. I think he tried to throw it. Bill Gregory fell on the ball. Avellini was just inundated that time by about 3 Cowboys. They sent the safety blitz with Aaron Kyle just forming all over him. Tom Henderson was there, and Avellini coughed up the ball at the 11-yard line, and the Cowboys have it again.
Yeah, it looked like it was Ed Too Tall Jones who wound up stripping off the football after Aaron Kyle, the right cornerback, got in there on the blitz. And looks like the trap door is about ready to pop open.
I think it done popped. First down, Dallas at the 11-yard line. Pearson wide to the left. Both ends are in tight. They shift out of the deuce into the I. Dorsett, the deep man. Staubach. And an inside handoff on a cross buck goes to Newhouse. He's slammed down at the 9-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8. Wayman Bryant and Tom Hicks. The right side and middle linebackers respectively on the play. Butch Johnson comes in, bringing in a play from Tom Landry across the way, and they'll pull Drew Pearson on this one. They have both Jay Saldi and Billy Joe Dupree. Both tight ends are in the lineup.
That's 3 straight turnovers now for the Bears. 2 interceptions off Avellini and an Avellini fumble. And the Cowboys are knocking at the door again, leading 24-0 third quarter.
Deuce backfield, wide to the near side as the lone flanker is Butch Johnson. I formation now. They give to Dorsett. Tries to cut to the outside, and he's nailed right at the line of scrimmage. Good lateral pursuit for the Bears, who chopped off the hole. And it was Doug Plank, the strong safety, who came up with Jim Osborne to make the tackle, and Tom Hicks got a piece of the play. It'll be third down, and still 8 yards to go for the Cowboys on the Chicago Bear 9. Well, the Bear mistakes caught up with them early here in the third period.
Looking at next year's schedule,
it's going to be a monster.
Well, at least they don't have to play Dallas.
No, that's one of the few biggies the Bears will miss next year when they go to the 16-game alignment.
Play Oakland and Denver, San Diego.
Richardson wide to the left, Pearson wide to the right. Backs are split in the deuce. And I believe the Cowboys took too much time. They did. It'll be a 5-yard delay of game penalty against the Cowboys. That'll move the ball back out to the 14, and it looked almost deliberate.
Call against the Cowboys.
That's the second penalty against Dallas all day. They had a 15-yarder in the first half. Now the ball will be at the Bear 14. Third down, 13 yards to go.
Ron Rydalch, who sprained his right ankle in the first half, has not returned in the second half. He is on the sidelines, though, and he is still in uniform. Also standing down there looking very interested is Wally Chambers, who is, of course, out for the season after undergoing knee surgery.
Wally becomes a free agent as of January 1. Butch Johnson, wide to the right. Pearson, wide to the near left side. On third down, 13 yards to go from the Chicago Bear 14-yard line. It's a double wing right. Staubach drops back to pass. Rush, throws, incomplete at the 6-yard line behind Drew Pearson, who never turned for the ball. Well, that was Billy Joe Dupree on the near sidelines, covered by Gary Fensick, and the ball was thrown behind him as they really put the rush on that time. Billy Newsom, from his defensive end position, really put the heat on Staubach, and he had to throw it away. So it's fourth down, 13 yards to go, and Ephraim Herrera will be in to try to add 3 more to the Dallas total.
Ephraim Herrera made the Pro Bowl team, but well, he led the kickers in the NFC in points. I didn't think he was all that impressive.
He was 0 for 3 from 38 yards in last week against Denver. Here's the kick by Herrera, and he kind of chipped it up, and it's good. Ephraim Herrera with a 30-yard field goal, and with 11:24 to go here in the third period at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys now lead at 27-0. The Dallas Cowboys converting 2 Bear turnovers here early in the third period into 10 more points. And again, it's Walter Payton waiting at about the 5-yard line with Musso and Walter Scheid guarding the flanks as Herrera gets set to kick it off once again. The Rams and the Vikings later on today out at the L.A. Coliseum. Of course, two great playoff games last Saturday in the AFC with Baltimore going double overtime before losing to the defending Super Bowl champion Oakland Raiders 37-31. And the Denver Broncos, who led the entire AFC with 12 victories during regular season play, beating Pittsburgh 34-21. High booming kick, Peyton back at the 3-yard line. To the 10, he's got some blockers at the 15 to the 20, and he is hit by 3 Cowboys. A knockdown, he got all the way out to the 25-yard line, even though the contact was made at about the 22. Mike Hegman, the reserve linebacker out of Tennessee State in his second year, made the tackle on the play. And so the Bears will have the ball at their own 25-yard line. About a 22-yard kickoff return by Walter Payton.
Sure like to see him break one. He had one return on a kick this year of 68 yards. That was his longest one. Tom Landry over on the sideline. Looks like he's waiting for a bus.
Rather wide to the near side. Scott standing wide to the far left side. Deuce backfield. First down for the Bears at their own 25-yard line. Avellini gives to Peyton. Tries the left side and gouges out about 3 yards to the 28-yard line. Randy White, the Manster from Maryland, made the tackle on the play. An Outland Trophy winner a couple of years ago, signifying him as the outstanding collegiate football lineman in the country. It's 2nd down and 7. Boy, they do have talent. I don't think there's another team, with maybe the exception of the Oakland Raiders, that personnel-wise can match up player for player, position for position with the Dallas Cowboys. It's just sheer ability.
Yes, I think they'll both make the Super Bowl.
Could well be. 2nd down, 7. The Bears at their own 28-yard line. Avellini and gives to Harper, and Harper tries the left side across the 30 to the 31-yard line before he's pushed back and buried by 3 white-shirted Cowboys, again led by Randy White. It'll be 3rd down. He got all the way out to the 32-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go, and Rather again brings a play in from the near sidelines, and the Cowboys will go with 6 defensive backs pulling 2 linebackers, Bruning and Lewis. Landry goes 1 up on the nickel defense down here. Slot to the left side. I formation on 3rd and 3 for the Bears. They have only 4 first downs all day, and 3 of them came in a drive just before the end of the first half. Quick pitch now to Walter Payton behind us. Block. He tries to turn the corner and is anchored at about the 33-yard line. He's going to be 2 yards short of the first down. Sorey and Harper both threw the block on the same player, but they did not contain Thomas Henderson and Bill Gregory, who made the tackle on the play. It'll be 4th down and still about 2.5 yards to go. Bob Parsons in the punt. Parsons 6'5", 232 pounds in his 6th year from Penn State. Had a great season this year. Butch Johnson is deep at the Dallas 30. There's the snap. And there's the kick by Parsons. He hangs a booming spiral. Johnson drifting all the way back. Make that Tony Hill at the 21. Slips, gets up, and still maneuvering, spins away, still on his feet, breaks another tackle across the 30 to the 33 before Robin Earl, Dan Neal, and a couple of other Bears finally swarm him under. A great twisting, jitterbugging run. A return of about 11 yards when it looked like he was going to go down where he fielded the ball. Timeout is called here in Dallas with 9:01 to go in the 3rd period. The score, the Cowboys 27, the Bears nothing.
About 25 years ago, in a small town in Illinois, a gasoline station was opened by a couple of brothers who thought they had a good idea. Sell gas and oil and try to sell a lot at lower prices. If the motorists could pay less for gas and the station could still make money, both the gas station owners and the customers would be happy about it. Well, the idea worked, and the motorists became good customers who came back time after time to fill up with gas. And those repeat customers made it possible for a company called Checker Oil to grow from that one station in a small Illinois town to several hundred throughout the Midwest. Today, Checker still keeps its gas prices lower than the rest. This Checker Oil Company story is one that demonstrates a simple and straightforward way of doing business. Give the customer a good product at a fair price. And for its New Year's resolution, Checker promises you to keep its prices lower so you can keep on saying and believing, that Checker, it's a gas.
Well, that last punt by Parsons was a 44-yarder, and Hill had an 11-yard return, and he earned every inch of it. A little reminiscent of Schubert's punt return in the first game of the season where he slipped and fell, then got up and raced 70 yards for a touchdown against the Lions. Yeah. Thank goodness he didn't go more than 11 yards. Slot right, Deuce backfield. Now Newhouse moves over a step to the left, and they give to Newhouse, and he is chopped down. He got a yard gain. He ran right into Jerry Myers. Myers has played well today in relief of Ron Rideout. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Newhouse now with 80 yards on the day. 3 times previously in his career, he has topped the century mark. He's been the kind of workhorse type of back that a Roland Harper is, for instance. Harper hasn't had any huge yardage days, but he's always up when he's healthy and running well. He runs 50 to 60, 75 yards a game, and that's just about the type of running back that Robert Newhouse is. Butch Johnson wide to the near left side. Wide to the right is Drew Pearson. They're in the I formation. Newhouse, Dorsett the deep man. Staubach with a long count on 2nd and 9. Fake draw to Dorsett, and running back Staubach throws incomplete, and that breaks his string of completions as Newhouse muffed it at the 35-yard line. Going against the linebacker Wayman Bryant, and for Staubach now, he is 7 of 10 for 126 yards this afternoon.
Except for the brief possession just before the end of the first half, the Cowboys have scored the last 5 times they've had the football. 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Now they're 3rd and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Well, they have scored 6 times. This is their 8th possession, so they've scored the last 6 times they've had the ball, Brad. Only the fumbles have stopped them. They've not used their punter all day. Shotgun spread now for Staubach. This is only the 2nd time we've seen this formation today. Back to pass. Sets up. Moves to the left. Throws it upfield. Intercepted by Virgil Ivers at the 50-yard line. To the 45 and out of bounds at the Dallas 43-yard line. It was intended for Golden Richards. And Virgil Ivers, who picked off 2 during the regular season, snared that one at the bare 48-yard line and returned it into Dallas territory. It'll be first down now for the Bears at the 44-yard line as Virgil Ivers came up with a big interception.
That's the 3rd turnover in the Dallas Cowboys. First interception thrown by Staubach.
Now let's see if the Bears can get on the board. Scott and Rather wide to the left. Deuce backfield again to Walter Payton on a sweep to the right side, looking for block. Turns the corner at the 40. Bounces away, still on his feet, and gets hammered down as he surges inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Pushed ahead by the force of the tackle by Harvey Martin and Randy White. And he bounced right off of Ed Too Tall Jones after the first collision was made. So Walter Payton carries it down to the 33.5-yard line. And it's going to be a first down for the Bears. That's Payton's longest run of the afternoon.
I was just going to ask you that. How many yards does that give him?
That gives him 33 and 10 carries. Now Scott and Schubert line up in a slot to the far left side. Deuce backfield. First down for the Bears in Dallas territory. Avellini to Roland Harper. Runs right into the manster. Randy White. And down he goes. He may have gotten a yard with his forward momentum. It's 2nd and 9. White was right on his back as he got the handoff, it seemed.
Well, 4 touchdowns, and the Bears are going to win it.
The ball is at the Dallas Cowboy 32.5. It's 2nd down and 9. Dan Neal is warming up Bob Thomas, I believe, or he's practicing his snaps. Bears may go for a field goal to try to get on the boards here. High formation. Rather wide to the near side. Scott standing wide to the far left side. Avellini on a draw to Payton. Eludes one man. Trips and goes down at the 32-yard line. Ed Too Tall Jones the reason, with middle linebacker Bob Bruning helping out. It's 3rd down and 9.
6:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. 27-0 favor of Dallas. The Bears had 2 chances for touchdowns. Once they had Bo Rather wide open. Avellini overthrew him. Another time they had Greg Latta in the end zone just before the end of the half. Avellini underthrew, and the ball was intercepted. And that's been it so far for the Bears.
Wide to the left is Scott. Schubert in the slot to the left on 3rd down and 9 from the Cowboy 32-yard line. Long count by Avellini. He drops straight back to pass. The rush is on. The pocket stays. Avellini whirling to the right. Now throws it down the middle. Intercepted. Intercepted by Waters at the 20, 25, 30. Cuts back, coming to the near side. 35, 40. Runs into Too Tall Jones. Reverses himself. Breaks away. He's at the 45 to the 47-yard line. Charlie Waters with his 2nd pick off of the day. And what a beautiful job of broken field running he did after he caught that ball. Bob Avellini, who threw the pass, and James Scott combined for the tackle. Let's pause right now for station identification. Palmer back at Texas Stadium where it's 27-0 to score. 5:47 left to go in the ball game. 3rd quarter. Dallas with the ball. Another turnover for the Bears. The 2nd interception by Waters today.
It's the little bighorn for the Bears.
Slot left, now Pearson in motion to the right side in front of the eye. And they give to the deep man. It's Dorsett, breaks one tackle, spins across the 50 and dives to the 47-yard line in Bear territory. Making the tackle was Wayman Bryant, the right side linebacker. After they appeared to have Dorsett stopped at about the 49, he surged away and got an extra 4 yards. It's 2nd down coming up and about 3 yards to go. The ball at the Chicago Bear 47-yard line.
The attendance here at Texas Stadium just under 63,000, 62,920. Beautiful stadium.
Dorsett and Newhouse are even in rushing right now. Dorsett with 80 yards, Newhouse with 79. High formation. And the give to the short man. And it's Newhouse. Spins away, lunges to the 45, and is cracked back with about a 10-man pile up there. Tom Hicks, the middle linebacker, put a lick on him and stopped his forward momentum at about the 45. And they're going to give him another foot or so inside the 45. It'll be third down and a short yard. 62,920 on hand here today, and that is more than capacity here at Texas Stadium. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 65,101 is the capacity, so it's not quite capacity, even though the game was sold out. So there are about 2,500 no-shows today. 62,920. Third down, less than a yard. Southey is in now as the second tight end, wing to the right. Now they shift into the deuce, and Doug Dennison is in there as the second running back, along with Newhouse. And they give to Newhouse, and he tries to go back against the flow, and I don't think he made it. He was tripped up at the 45, and only a great second effort got him back across the 45 to the original line of scrimmage. Tom Hicks made the tackle on the play, and it'll be fourth down and less than a yard.
As many playoff games as the Dallas Cowboys have been involved in. In fact, 19 playoff games since the Bears last appeared in the playoffs, Joe. I suppose this is just another game for many of these people, especially with Dallas so heavily favored.
Well, they're going to give Danny White a little action. He's going to punt. This will be the first punt for the Cowboys today.
And that's something.
Steve Schubert, the deep man. And it'll be Plank on the near flank, and over on the far side, Walterscheid. Danny White, the son of former Arizona State University great Whizzer White, and Danny himself was a quarterback for the Sun Devils. There's the snap, and there's the kick, and he hits a spiral, aiming for the far corner, and he hits a beauty. Out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Well, when you're going good, everything goes for you. And White just hit a super putt, and Coffin cornered it out of bounds over the far sideline to the 4-yard line. The Cowboys have had it 10 times. They've scored 5, and they've backed up the Bears now with their first punt of the ball game at the Chicago Bear 4-yard line.
19 minutes left in this football game. You're down 27-0. You're back on your own 4-yard line.
That was a 40-yard punt, by the way.
What are you going to do here? You know what I'm going to do?
Hard to say.
I want to see Peyton unload the bomb off the option.
Oh, you've been asking for that all year.
Might as well see it now. What do we got to lose?
Somebody brought that up in the press conference yesterday. Wide to the, and it wasn't you. Wide to the left is Scott. Wide to the near side is Rather. Deuce backfield of Peyton and Harper. They're lined up on the goal line. They give to Peyton. He's going to try to sweep the right side. Gets caught from behind and chopped out at the 2-yard line. And rolling in behind the blocker was Harvey Martin. Boy, he is as quick as a cat. Came all the way over from the right defensive end to make the tackle as Peyton tried to sweep the right side to this side.
Martin looks big at 6'5", 252, but then you stand him alongside of Ed Too Tall Jones at 6'9". He looks like a little guy.
Second down and 12. A loss of 2 for Walter Payton. And the Bears are backed up all the way to their own 2-yard line, trailing 27-0 late in the third period here in Dallas. Wide to the left is Schubert. Scott standing wide to the near side. Avellini will throw. In the end zone, being rushed, he's grabbed, he throws, and it's caught by Scott at the 16-yard line. He runs laterally, fumbles the ball. Didi Lewis picks it up at the 15, down to the 10, to the 8-yard line. Scott trying to break 2 tackles, lost the ball, or is it Latta? It's Latta, 88 instead of 89. He was hit by 2 players, lost the ball, trying to break the tackle, and Didi Lewis was there to pick it up and return it to the Bears' 7-yard line. But the Cowboys have it first and goal.
Not much you can say now. The trapdoor is wide open. The Bears have turned the ball over now 5 times in their last 6 possessions.
Well, that's tough luck because Latta had made the catch and was trying to break away from 2 Dallas Cowboys when he lost the ball. Dallas has it first and goal. Well, Didi Lewis has certainly had himself some afternoon. There's the power eye right. Both ends are in tight. Quick pitch goes to Dorsett. Cutting to the outside of the 5. He walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Tony Dorsett from 7 yards out scores on the first play after the Cowboys got the ball back. And it's 33-0 here at Texas Stadium. 7 yards in one play. Well, the thing that we feared, Brad, is happening here today. The Bears are being embarrassed, and it's too bad for a great young ball club that had to battle back time and time again to get to the playoffs. But they'll be back next year. with another year of experience and hopefully a good college draft, maybe a move or two, the Bears will hope to make it 2 in a row in the playoffs. Herrera kicks the extra point through, and it's 34-0 Dallas with 2:52 left to go here in the third period at Texas Stadium. And the wheels are off here in Dallas.
You're right, they've come off, but I'm afraid the Bears are being embarrassed. They aren't getting burned with those big plays that they got burned by the Houston Oilers with. They've just taken themselves out of this game with turnovers, but that's going to happen sometimes when a team gets behind. But it's not only interceptions, it's also fumbles. Greg Latta fumbling that time. Bob Avellini is a fumble. Avellini has been intercepted 3 times. So 5 turnovers the last 6 times the Bears have had the ball. Now, he's still got 17 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the game, and for Chicago fans, it's turning into a nightmare. The biggest margin of victory for the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game is 38 points. That was back, in fact, I think I saw that game at the Cotton Bowl in 1967, Dallas beating Cleveland 52-14. It was a cold, lousy day in Dallas, and almost a spring-like day today, but bad day for the Bears.
And Herrera hits it deep, and it's going to be, it's Walterscheid at the 5 to the 10 to the 15 to the 20 to the 25 and out to the 28.5-yard line. Lenny Walterscheid with a nice kickoff return, almost sprung it through there, and making the ankle tackle was Benny Barnes. One thing the Cowboys do, they have 5 or 6 starters in those special team units, much like the Vikings do. They'll use a lot of their starters in those special teams. The Bears will have it now and play at their own 29-yard line. 5 turnovers in the last 6 possessions. The longest Dallas drive here in the second half has been 19 yards. Slot right, deuce backfield, and the give to Roland Harper. Tripped up off balance and dives back to the line of scrimmage, trying to turn the left corner. Bob Bruning pounced on him, but it was Harvey Martin that tripped him up and knocked him off balance. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Peyton with 31 yards and 12 carries. His longest gainer today is 11.
That reminds you of the Atlanta game, the way the Bears turned over the ball 5 times inside their 31 of the Falcons, and even holding hands isn't doing much now to keep things held together.
You know, you mentioned the fact that Dallas's largest win margin. The last time the NFC had a wild card team in the playoffs was the Detroit Lions several years ago, and they lost down here in Dallas by the unlikely score of 5-0. Avellini back to pass. Quick slant in, and Schubert falls down. It's intercepted by Waters, his 3rd of the day. Off balance, still on his feet at the 30. Tripped up by Latta and down, right there. Schubert fell down on the play, and Waters had a clear shot at his 3rd interception of the day, and the Cowboys have it on the Bears' 6th turnover in the last 7 possessions at the Chicago 30-yard line. Unbelievable.
Well, this will be the Cowboys' longest march of this second half if they get it. It's unbelievable. They've scored their last 3 times on drives of 19, 11, and 7 yards. Now they're at the Bears' 30-yard line, and I want to say it's sickening, but it sure is sad.
Staubach still in, although they're warming up. Danny White behind the line. There's a handoff now, and it goes to Doug Dennison, and Dennison tries the middle and gets about 3.5 yards before he's gang tackled and wrestled and still not brought down, and the referee finally separates them. A gain of 3. Doug Plank led the way for the Bears secondary on that particular play. It's 2nd down and 7, the ball at the Chicago Bear 27-yard line. Golden Richards leaves, and Butch Johnson replaces him at wide receiver.
So Charlie Waters, after getting 3 interceptions all year, has 3 interceptions today all by himself.
Wide to the right is Johnson. Both ends are in tight. They shift into the triple stack eye. 3 men deep. Now the deepest man comes in motion to the near left side, and that is Drew Pearson. Quick pitch to Dennison. Dennison trying the near left side. Bolts across the 25, still at the 23-yard line. Wayman Bryant again in on the stop along with Billy Newsom. The Cowboys have it at the Bear 23. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. 58 seconds left to play here in the 3rd period. It's a rout. The Cowboys leading it 34-0.
This is the most turnovers the Bears have had in a game all year, 6. They had 5 against Atlanta when they actually gave that game away, and they also had 5 at Detroit Thanksgiving Day, a game they won, as Detroit turned the ball over 3 times in that game.
Well, that second half was the highlight of the year for the Bears as far as their offense was concerned, scoring 31 against the Lions in the second half on Thanksgiving Day.
That's right.
Deuce backfield. Now moving over a step or 2 is Laidlaw is in there. Dropping and rolling to the right now. Staubach throws it out the right flat. Caught by Laidlaw inside the 20 and out of bounds. Let's see where they mark the ball. It's the 1st down. And that's Brinson, not Laidlaw. Larry Brinson, a rookie, got the first down, stepping out of bounds when Buffon bumped him out at the Chicago Bears 17-yard line on a little rollout flare to the right side.
Buffon waited 11 years for this?
Well, in 6 years with the Minnesota Vikings, I went to the Super Bowl and, along with the Vikes, tasted defeat 3 straight times, but I would rather have gone and lost than not have gone at all.
All right. He read that right off his cuff.
Whose cuff? He read it off of mine. In motion is Pearson to the right, I formation. They give to Brinson. He tries the middle, cracks inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Jim Osborne made the tackle with help from Jerry Myers. It's 2nd down 7. The Cowboys now with their reserve running backs in there, Dennison and Brinson, trying to pound out more yardage against the Bears, who already trailed 34-0, and that'll be the last play of the third period. The third quarter is history here at Texas Stadium. The score, Dallas 34, Chicago 0. Fourth quarter set to start here at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. The Cowboys leading the Chicago Bears 34-0. And Charlie Waters' third interception a moment ago ties an NFL playoff record. Joe Laws of the Green Bay Packers got 3 in the title game against the Giants back in 1944. And Charlie sets a new all-time record for divisional playoff games with his third interception today. We still got a quarter to go. However, the third one was a sheer gift. As Schubert, the intended receiver, slipped and fell, running his route. High formation with Brinson and Dennison, the running backs. And Staubach gives to Dennison on a draw, and he goes to about the 5-yard line. They can't wrestle him down. Bryant finally pins him down at about the 10. It was inside the 15 to the 10-yard line. I said the 5, and it's near the 10-yard line.
Bears throwing caution to the wind there defensively. They had Doug Klink blitzing on the play, and Dallas running back flew right by him.
It's 3rd down, 3 yards to go now. The Dallas Cowboys at the Chicago Bear 10-yard line.
What you said earlier, though, Joe, is absolutely right. Better to have gone to the playoffs than lost, and never to have gone at all. The Bears have nothing to be ashamed of this year. They've accomplished quite a bit, regardless of what happens here. Nothing to be ashamed of, although this game in itself is a little embarrassing on national TV, I would assume.
Deuce backfield, receiver split on either side. Staubach goes for the touchdown. Incomplete on the deflection as he tried to hit Drew Pearson on a quick slant in for the near right side. Pearson got his hand on it, made a vain try to dive for the ball, loose in the end zone, couldn't come up with it. It's 4th down, and Ephraim Herrera will again lead the Dallas field goal unit onto the field. He's had a busy afternoon here. He's 2 for 2, but they've been relatively short field goals. Waters, who has 3 interceptions, will be the holder, and this one will come from the 32-yard line. 32 yards out, the ball will be spotted at the Chicago Bear 22. The snap is a good one, the kick is up, and it is good. 32-yard field goal for Ephraim Herrera, who was 0 for 3 last week, 3 for 3 today. And the score now, with 14:08 to go in the ball game, Dallas 37, the Chicago Bears nothing.
All across our land, people know our brand.
Get the camera track closer, Rodney. I must get a close-up of this remarkable beast. Closer, closer. Get us out of here, Rodney.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Sparkles by AC.
Peel out of Banana Land with the Hot Plug AC. AC spark plugs give quick starts, smooth power, and if you need a tune-up, AC spark plugs can help restore good gas mileage. Go with the hot one, AC Fire Ring Spark Plugs. You'll be thankful you did.
So when you want to go, we're the name to know.
Great concert, Ricky. There's a mob out back. Quick, into the car.
Get me out of here. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs.
Well, that's the 4th second-half score for the Cowboys, all set up by Bear turnovers. That time they had to go only 20 yards in 7 plays for Herrera's 27-yard field goal. And with 14:08 left to go, it's now 37-0 ball game. The deep man is Walterscheid. And it's Spivey and Musso on the flanks.
It's about as bad as Rich King beat you on the airplane with his new computer game.
Not as bad as I almost beat that computer physically. There's the kick, and it's kind of a sidewinder, and it's taken at the 3-yard line by Walterscheid. Right up the middle of the 20, to the 25, to the 30, still on his feet at the 40. He tries to cut to the outside, hit from behind, and pounded down at the Bear 44-yard line, and coming up from behind to make the tackle was Jim Cooper, an offensive lineman from Temple, a rookie, and that's a 40-yard return by Lenny Walterscheid, who appeared to be about one step shy of breaking it all the way, and that would have been about a 94-yarder. Well, a nice run back by Lenny Walterscheid, a gutty little rookie out of southern Utah. And it's first down for the Bears at their own 44-yard line, and I believe, with one brief exception, this is the best field position they've had in the second half.
Among the crowd of 63,000 is a chimpanzee here.
And a handoff to Big Robin Earl, the 245-pound rookie running back from Washington, who's in the game now, and he blasted out to about the 47-yard line.
Some dude in the cowboy outfit has a chimpanzee as a companion over in one of these expensive plush boxes on the other side.
Second down and 7 for the Bears now. It was Robin Earl's touchdown, by the way, Brad, that was proved to be, the only touchdown in the game a week ago, and it was his first. He scored one touchdown at 233 yards, an average of 4.2 in his rookie year. It's second down, 7. The Bears at their own 47-yard line. They give to Walter Payton. He breaks one tackle, still on his feet, and spins to the 50-yard line as he ran right through the arms of Ed Too Tall Jones behind the line of scrimmage. And it was finally Randy White that put him down at the midfield stripe. Walter turned a 3-yard loss into a 3-yard gain. It'll be third down and 4 yards to go. And Dallas again goes with their 6 defensive backs in a probable passing situation for Bob Avellini and the Bears. Scott and Rather will line up in the slot to the far right side. High formation, Earl and Payton. Earl is 6'5". He just towers over Walter Payton. And the Cowboys jump offside. There's a quick pitch now to Payton coming to the near side. He turns the corner to 50, slips the tackle, spins away, gets to the 43-yard line, and a penalty flag is thrown.
Harvey Martin jumped off, but I think he may have gotten back, judging by where the flag is.
Yeah, the flag was thrown, it appears, on the block, and it might be on Noah Jackson, which would...
well, it's on Dallas.
It's going to be a face mask grabbing penalty, which will give the Bears some additional yardage. Payton got the first down to the 43, and a 5-yard inadvertent face mask grabbing penalty against Dallas moves it down to the 38-yard line. First down for the Bears. Aaron Kyle, the man who was guilty of the face mask grab. And the Bears will have it now in Dallas territory at the 38.
Face mask, number 58, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Mike Hegman, who was nailed with a penalty. Payton now has 44 yards and 15 carries. Slot to the near left side, high formation. Benny Barnes has to hurry to get out of the field of playing time. Quick pitch to Payton, cutting to the outside. At the 35, still on his feet in heavy traffic, gets down to the 30-yard line. Walter Payton ran right through about 4 Dallas Cowboys who had him surrounded, and Hegman made the tackle on the play. Tom Landry has more or less taken out most of his regulars now, and his second-unit players are getting a chance to play, although the front 4 still remains intact, with Gregory and White, the tackles, and Martin and Jones, the ends.
Well, I'll say this, the Bears are not quitting today, as was evident in that play.
No, they are not. They are not. They played hard. They just not have played well, that's all. They've gone up against a super football team. Rather wide to the near side, Scott standing wide to the right. At the 30-yard line, it's second down and 2. They give to Big Robin Earl, and he lunges and dives and backs across the line of scrimmage for the first down to about the 27-yard line. Right over the right tackle slot, Ed Jones tripped him up. But the big rookie turned his backside to the goal line and just kind of threw himself for another yard or so and got the first down. At the Dallas 27. 11 and a half minutes to go in the game. The Cowboys have it locked up. They'll be the host team here on New Year's Day, and they'll await the outcome of the second game today in Los Angeles between the Vikings and the Rams. But the NFC Championship game will be played right here at Texas Stadium on New Year's Day. High formation, slot to the left. Avellini on a draw to Payton. Payton cutting back, gets to the 25, fumbles, the ball's knocked loose. Big pile up, and the Cowboys have it, and it's Cliff Harris who got the ball. Payton fumbled as he hit the 25-yard line. It bounced free, and Cliff Harris picked it up and immediately got knocked down on the play right there. And Payton is a little slow in getting up. In fact, he hasn't gotten up yet. Oh, that's too bad. As Walter began to pick up a few yards here late in the ball game, the Cowboys will take over on the Bears' 7th turnover at the Chicago 24-yard line.
And those 7 turnovers have come on their last 8 possessions. Cliff Harris, he'll be in the Pro Bowl starting for the NFC, and so will the other safety for the Cowboys, Charlie Waters, who has 3 interceptions. fact, Dallas has 4 players on this team who will be in the Pro Bowl game. 3 of them as starters, Harvey Martin being the other one. Randy White minute as a reserve. They also have 3 offensive players, Staubach, Drew Pearson, and Billy Joe Dupree, and their kicker, Efren Herrera. So they've got 8 players who will be in the Pro Bowl. The Bears, of course, with only one, Walter Payton, and he claims he's not going to play unless 1 or 2 of his offensive linemen go.
Now, what Dallas is doing now, they're taking out one by one their starting offensive skilled players, Drew Pearson, Billy Joe Dupree. They've got Saldi in at tight end. They put in the rookie Tony Hill now, and Danny White, the backup for Roger Staubach, is now the quarterback. And Rayfield Wright, an 11-year veteran from Fort Valley State who had to undergo knee surgery in camp and played his way back on this ball club late in the year, is in there at right offensive tackle, Rayfield Wright. And Walter Payton is being helped off now the near sidelines. He's walking okay, and that's a big sigh of relief. He apparently just got his bell rung. And Walter Payton comes out of the ball game. For that last carry, it put him over the 50-yard mark, 54 yards and 17 carries. And a year ago, he carried it 17 times against Dallas, got only 41 yards. Hill moves wide to the left. Both ends are in tight. The running backs are Dennison and Brinson. Now they shift into the eye and split the slot man Saldi to the left. Danny White, the quarterback. And the give now to Dennison. Runs right up the middle, across the 25 to the 27-yard line where he's rolled over. Mike Hartenstein to help pin him along with Doug Plank, the free safety. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The Cowboys make it 6 yards. The Cowboys almost out to their own 28. 10:49 to go. Dallas leading 37-0. The Bears have turned it over 7 of their last 8 possessions.
And they just want to score now.
Yeah. All right, the Cowboys line it up. And it looks like it'll be a slot to the left side, deuce backfield. Now they shift into the eye and widen the slot. Danny White, the quarterback. Now out of the slot in motion to the near side comes Tony Hill. And the give right up the middle is Dennison. And he gets to the 30, to the 31-yard line, running it right to the left side of the center. In there now, Jim Cooper and Tom Rafferty are in that offensive line for Dallas. Doug Plank, again, with his 2nd straight tackle. That's free safety for the Bears. Don't forget, at 9:06 tonight, in the Chicagoland area, it'll be Game Day Recap Special with Ray Geraci. He'll have all the highlights, or lowlights, depending on how you look at this one. And we'll also be giving you an update and a complete story from Los Angeles.
The winner of that game will be here next week, in fact, on January 1st to play the Dallas Cowboys.
3rd down coming up now for the Cowboys, 3 yards to go at their own 31. Slot to the right. Now shifting over a step is Brinson, the left side of the deuce. Back to pass, Danny White. Sidearm flip out on the right side, and it's dropped, incomplete by Golden Richards. The ball was underthrown a bit. Quick turnout of about 5 yards on the near right flank. Doug Buffon was defending on the play along with Virgil Livers, but the ball was underthrown and incomplete. 4th down and 3, and into punt for the 2nd time. Well, staying in the punt, I should say, at this point in the game, is Danny White. And dropping back in single punt safety will be Steve Schubert at about the Bear 28-yard line. Don't forget, we'll have all the highlights of the game, and Brad will be down in the locker room. And then it'll be Ray Geraci. And this week, Jack Concannon answering your questions back at the studio following the broadcast of this game here today.
Riverboat Jack.
Jack can remember some of those dark days as a Bear quarterback. There's the snap. There's the kick as Terry Schmidt put a good rush on Danny White. Schubert at the 33 to the 35 to 40. The 45 slipped the tackle across the 50-yard line, and scooting out of bounds he goes, and let's see where they mark the ball. Nice return by Steve Schubert. Walking the tightrope over on the far sidelines, a 37-yard punt and a 12-yard return by Steve Schubert. Timeout is called on the field of play with 9:27 to go here at Texas Stadium. The score, Dallas leading 37-0.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around,
Bear fans, if you live in the suburbs, there's no better way to get around than on the RTA commuter railroads. On many lines, they've added more trains, so the service is even better. Whether you're heading for work or on a shopping trip, you can skip all the hassles of driving by getting aboard a comfortable, convenient commuter train. Relax, read the paper, and get to your destination on time. And when you take the train regularly, the RTA has the best bargain in town. They'll mail you a ticket each month automatically. For information about commuter rail service to your town as well as a ticket application, write to RTA Commuter Rail, 300 North State Street, Chicago, 60610. That's RTA Commuter Rail, 300 North State, Chicago, 60610. You'll get around better on the RTA Commuter Railroads.
Well, nullify that 12-yard punt return by Steve Schubert. There was a cliff against the Bears, and they'll put the ball in play at their own 25-yard line.
They've just announced that on January 1st, New Year's Day, the first game of the championship games will be the AFC Championship between Denver and Oakland in Denver. And that's a 1 o'clock game, Chicago time. Oakland beat the Broncos the last time they played this year in Denver after Denver had upset the Oakland Raiders over in Oakland, so that's the rubber game. And the winner of this afternoon's Minnesota-Los Angeles game will be here at Texas Stadium for a game that will begin at 4:30 Chicago time next Sunday. Sorry to say it won't be the Bears involved in that, but again, it's been a great season for the Bears, coming back with 6 straight victories, a 9-5 record, first playoff appearance in 14 years, and they've got something to build upon for next year now.
Rather wide to the near side, Scott wide to the right, back to pass, Avellini, swing pass out of the backfield to Payton, and Payton gets to the 25, 26-yard line maybe. He gained a yard. Broke down on the play, and Gregory made the tackle on the play at 2nd down and 9. A gain of 1 to Walter Payton, and actually it's a short 1. It was more like a foot.
You know,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking ahead to next year, the Bears' opponents this year had a total of 82 or 85 victories, and next year their opponents are going to have 105 victories. So,
of course, throw in 2 more opponents.
That's right. They're going to.
It's a tougher schedule, no question about it. 2nd down and a short 10. Avellini to throw. Now whips it downfield, caught by Schubert at the 39-yard line for the first down as he split Waters and Kyle and made the grab, and that's the 3rd catch for Schubert today. And Avellini was really rudely pounded after he released the ball by Randy White. And there's a penalty flag down, and is it going to be offensive holding or is it going to be roughing the quarterback? It's going to be roughing the quarterback, I believe, and that'll give the Bears an additional 15. So Avellini hooks up with Steve Schubert, who's been one of his favorite targets today.
What's that, 3 catches for Schubert? Isn't that something? He's caught 4 from the quarterback all year, been injured, comes back today and catches 3 passes.
For 30 yards, and an additional 15 yards on the roughing the quarterback violation. Gives the ball a
foul. Roughing the passer, number 54, defense. The penalty is tacked on to the completed pass. First down.
Now Randy White, and the ball now in Dallas territory at the 46-yard line. Scott wide to the right, Rather in the slot to the right. You can only speculate on what might have been had that pass been completed to Rather early in the ball game. Pitch to Payton behind Dennis Lick's blocking. Tries to turn the corner, and he's spun around and dropped by Bill Gregory at the 43-yard line, way over on the far sideline. A gain of 2 for Walter Payton. It's 2nd down and 8. And Too Tall Jones also helping out on the play. Now the Bears, right now, would settle for a score of almost any kind. They'd like to get a touchdown, but let's knock that 0 out. That's what they're thinking right now. With 8:18 to go in the game, trailing 37-0.
Doug Buffon walking along in front of the Bear bench, helmet in hand, sort of staring at the turf and kicking at pieces of tape, whatever's on the ground.
Schubert wide to the near side. Scott split wide. Here's the call now by Avellini on 2nd down and 8 from the Dallas 43. Avellini, quick square out, and it's caught by Schubert again, and he pays the price. Unloading on him was Mark Washington at the Dallas Cowboy 36-yard line on the sidelines. The 4th catch for Schubert today. And the Bears are going to be about a yard shy. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard at the Dallas 36-yard line.
Schubert and Bo Rather have been shuffling into plays the whole time. Tom Landry shaking his head over something on the far sideline.
Avellini now is 11 of 20 for the afternoon for 100 yards. He's had 4 interceptions. He had 18 during the regular season with 11 touchdown passes. And the give to big Robin Earl, and he tries the middle and gets the first down, blasting inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. A 2-yard pickup, Bill Gregory again in on the stop. First down for the Bears. Now, with the exception of the secondary people, and there are only a couple of changes being made right now, Dallas still going with their number 1 defensive unit. There's one exception at linebacker. Hegman is in there. And also Washington's in at left corner. So Hegman playing in place of Henderson, and Washington in place of Benny Barnes. Other than that, the 9 regulars are still in there for Dallas. Slot to the right, deuce backfield. First down for the Bears. Avellini sets up deep to throw. Has time, wings it downfield, intended for Schubert, and he's got it for the touchdown. Steve Schubert on a slant. Beat the Dallas Cowboys secondary into the end zone for the touchdown. He beat Cliff Harris And the Bears are on the board as Avellini throws a 34-yard touchdown pass to Steve Schubert, his 5th catch this afternoon. He had 8 all year. And the Bears have finally broken the drought here at Dallas. It's 37-6 with 7:05 to go.
Well, that erases the goose egg, and that's a moral victory in itself. But a great play by Steve Schubert, who's had a good game here this afternoon, and he's one of the few Bears you can pick out and point to as having had a good game. Avellini was on the mark.
Bears go 75 yards in 6 plays, and Bob Thomas will try to add the extra point. Avellini will hold. There's the snap. The ball is up, and it is good. And we have a 37-7 score here at Texas Stadium in the 4th period. Well, it's a 37-7 score now with 7:05 remaining in the ball game. The Bears on the board with a 34-yard touchdown shot from Avellini to Steve Schubert. 75-yard drive for the Bears. And that's the first time since I can recall, going way back, maybe the first half, the Bears have escaped without turning the ball over. They've had 7 turnovers here today, starting with an interception in the final moment of play in the first half, but it looked like they were about to score a touchdown at that point in the game.
Yeah, they had turned the ball over 7 times in their previous 8 possessions.
There's a kick by Thomas. High looper over on the left side, and it's taken by Johnson at the 18 to the 20, the 25, the 30. He runs right up the 34-yard line. Downfield to make the tackle. Lenny Walterscheid again, along with Big Robin Earl. So the Cowboys will have the ball at their own 34-yard line. About a 16-yard return by Butch Johnson. Less than 7 minutes to go. Staubach today, 8 of 13 for 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Danny White is at the helm now for the Cowboys. Golden Richards wide to the near side. Tony Hill split wide to the left. Brinson and Dennison are the running backs. They shift out of the eye to the deuce, and now a second shift as Brinson moves over to the left side. Now coming in back towards the line in motion is Hill. The give to Dennison, going to try to sweep that left side. Turns the corner, explodes across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Dragging a couple of Bears with him. Tom Hicks finally held on long enough to bring him down. Nice power run by Doug Dennison. Dennison from Kutztown State in Pennsylvania. In his 4th year, a 205-pound running back. At the 43-yard line, Dennison with 28 yards and 7 carries now. It'll be 2nd down and 2 yards to go.
Have not seen Ron Rydalch in there at all this half. He sprained his right ankle just before the end of the half and has not returned.
Unofficially, Dorsett with 2 touchdown runs and 87 yards, and Newhouse with 81 yards and 16 carries. Now they drop back into the deuce. Receivers split on either side. 2nd down, 8. And Danny White gives off to Brinson, hits one man, runs into 3 Bears, and is stonewalled at the 42-yard line. Hicks, Newsom, and Hartenstein. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard to go.
And a lot of people have gone already. With under 6 minutes to go, and it's 37-7 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. And I suppose some people are heading home to take a look at that second NFC game, the Minnesota Vikings against the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, the Vikes have won 3 straight over the Rams in playoff play over the last 4 or 5 years. Chuck Knox and his crew should be more than ready for that one. It'll be the first time in all of those meetings that they've had the Vikings in Los Angeles. Both ends are in tight, wing to the near right side, and the give now to Brinson, and Brinson tries to spin, twist, and dive his way, and I think he got the yard, but not much more. Hartenstein landed right on top of him, and Jerry Myers is the man who's suffering in there low, and I think they're going to measure. I'm not sure he made it.
No, I think he's...
he is short. He's going to be about a foot short. And Dallas going to play by the book all the way. They're way up. They're going to punt. 4th down and less than a yard. Dallas at their own 43-yard line, and Virgil Livers this time will drop back as the single punt safety for the Bears. Virgil was a rookie 3 years ago, was the Bears' leading punt return man.
He's standing in a 10-yard wide stripe of sunshine,
which filters through the Coliseum-type roof they have here. There's the kick by Danny White. High, lazy punt, end over end. Livers backing away. It takes a Bear bounce, and then bounces back down towards the goal line, and is going to be down at the 23-yard line. It hit at the 20, bounced back to the 25, and then carried back down to the 23-yard line. A 34-yard Danny White punt. So the Bears will take over at their own 23-yard line with 4:33 remaining here at Texas Stadium. In this first-round NFC playoff game, the Cowboys have it locked up 37-7.
Everyone's looking to find what's best in the things they do and the music they play. Take on the challenge of
song down here is not Jingle Bells, but Jingle Spurs.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboy playoff song. All right, the Bears have it at their own 23-yard line. Abilene to throw on first down. Pump, fake, looking, now throws it out of the backfield to Earl. He's to the 30, the 35, and carries the tackler to the 38-yard line. Big Robin Earl out of the right flat. Mike Hegman and Cliff Harris combined to bring him down. They spotted at the 37-yard line. It's a Bear first down, a 14-yard pass play to big Robin Earl. And now into the ball game is Steve Rivera out of California. Was waived by the 49ers and acquired by the Bears when Schubert got banged up about 4 weeks ago. Rivera sharing, a living actually with his college teammate, Ted Albrecht, out in suburban Chicago. Wide to the near side comes James Scott.
Ted's his landlord?
Yeah. Back to pass. On a play-action fake is Avellini. Swings out the left flat to Peyton. Peyton eludes Kyle, still on his feet. Jitterbugs away at the 40. Breaks another tackle at the 45. Gets to the 50-yard line. Oh. Great move by Walter Peyton. There were 3 Cowboys spilled all over the AstroTurf trying to bring elusive Walter down. And it was finally Mike Hegman who got just enough of him from behind to bring him down at the 50-yard line, another first down.
Looked like they had him for no gain, but Walter broke about 3 tackles and picked up the first down. Great little bit of running by Walter, who really can stutter step.
First down at the midfield stripe. The Bears would like to add another window dressing touchdown late in this ball game. Avellini is 14 of 23 now for 161 yards. The one big glaring stat is the 4 interceptions. Avellini, quick pop over the middle. Scott, he's got it. He spins around, still on his feet, and is going to be wrestled down at the Dallas Cowboy 36-yard line by Aaron Kyle, who turned him 360 degrees and finally wrestled him down. Another first down for the Bears on a 14-yard completion to James Scott. Back in is Steve Rivera. He is alternating now at wide receiver. Don't forget, you can hear next week's NFC Championship game on WBBM in Chicago. The Dallas Cowboys against the winner of the Ram-Viking game later on today in Los Angeles. Scott wide to the left. Wide to the right is Rivera. Deuce backfield. First down for the Bears on the Big D 36. Avellini to throw. Being rushed. He's going to be buried this time, and it's Harvey Martin who had 23 sacks in the year. It spills Avellini back on the Dallas Cowboy 46-yard line.
Is that the first sack of the game?
The second. The first one was when they buried him down at the 11-yard line and he lost the ball in the fumble on the second play of the second half. Just outside the Dallas 45, a loss of almost 10 on the play. Walter Payton was out for one play. Musso was in. Now Walter replaces it. Johnny Musso, an All-American from Alabama, the Italian Stallion, the special teams captain for the Bears. Musso got 2 touchdowns early this year on the ground for the Bears. In fact, scored their very first touchdown of the year against the Lions. And the 2-minute warning now is being sounded to both benches here in the 4th period to score here in Dallas. 37-7 in favor of the Cowboys. Well, with 2 minutes to go in this NFC first-round playoff game, the Dallas Cowboys are assured a victory. A 37-7 lead. The Bears have the ball on the Dallas 45-yard line with second down and 20 facing them after Avellini was just sacked for the second time today.
Cowboys led 17-0 at the half, and then they scored rapidly in the second half as the Bears committed turnover after turnover.
Deuce backfield, Scott wide to the near side, rather wide to the right, and they give to Walter Payton. And Payton runs right in to Bill Gregory at the 43-yard line. A gain of 2 as he tried to bust that one off right tackle. It'll be third down and 18 yards to go. So Payton with 2 yards there reaches the 61-yard mark in 19 carries. A long afternoon for Walter. Rivera back in, bringing in a play from Jack Pardee in the near sideline. Well, Schubert certainly did his job, and he was questionable right up until about 2 days ago. He missed the game in Jersey last week because he was so banged up, and today he was one of the standouts. 5 receptions, including a touchdown pass. Slot to the near left side, Deuce backfield on 3rd and 18. Avellini, long count. Drops back to pass. Being rushed again. He's going to be sacked way back on the Bear 45-yard line by head too tall Jones. They just overran the entire Bear offensive line on that play, and Gregory and Jones are both there. The 3rd quarterback sack of the long afternoon for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, the Bears now have 4th down, 29 yards to go.
Kind of deteriorates after a certain point, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it didn't really deteriorate until this drive, till this series. As far as the pass blocking was concerned, I think they did a very, very good job today for the most part.
of hanging in there, you mean?
Well, you know, Avellini wasn't pressured all that much most of the time. He did scramble to safety a couple of times and throw on the run, but he expected it.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the offensive line.
Right.
Yeah, I thought you meant in general. Yeah, the offensive line has played well.
Parsons in the punt one more time. There's the snap, and there's the kick. And he kicks a rather low, odd-looking punt, and it takes a sidewinder bounce at the 23, and Robin Earl comes up quickly to catch the ball on the Dallas 25-yard line. Parsons' poorest punt of the day. Looked like a Christmas tree ornament with the point of the ball down, a sideways spiral, a 29-yard punt. Dallas will have it at their own 25-yard line with 42 seconds left in the year for the Chicago Bears. And an eventful year it was. The first time in 14 years that this young ball club could make the playoffs. The Bears' starting offensive unit today, averaging just 2.7 years of previous NFL experience per man. The defensive alignment, averaging just 4.5 years of experience per man, and that counts 9 years for Billy Newsome and 11 for Doug Buffone. They'll be back. Hill in motion to give to Dennison, coming to the near right side on a sweep. Cuts back into the 30, the 35, the 37-yard line. Gary Fensick and Doug Plank brought him down with help from Alan Ellis. Three of the Bears' four secondary men making the tackle on the play at the 37-yard line. A 16-yard gain for Dennison, who's had himself quite a day. He got the first touchdown of the ball game.
Yes, he did.
He'd carried only 12 times for 60 yards all year.
The Dallas drives for touchdowns, 79 yards, and then 75 yards, 19 yards, 11 yards. That was a field goal.
That's going to be the final play of the year. Both teams shaking hands. The clock winds down, and the Dallas Cowboys will go into the NFC Championship game on New Year's Day. The final score here at Texas Stadium today as the Bear dream ends. 37-7, Dallas the winner.